To formally begin this program, we will be hearing first from the convener of the program on data science for public policy of the UP Center for Integrative and Development Studies. He is also the undergraduate program coordinator and associate professor at the Department of Political Science of the College of Social Science and Philosophy, UP Diliman. Everyone, please welcome the convener of the program on data science for public policy, Dr. Jalton G. Taguipaw.
Thank you very much, Pao, and thank you very much for everyone who is here. I am very pleased and I'd like to welcome all of you to this capacity building lecture on data scraping for social research. This is an activity organized by the UP Center for Integrative and Development Studies Data Science for Public Policy Program. And this activity was actually organized and spearheaded by our fellows, particularly Dr. Vlad Kobayashi, who is also the resource person for this lecture, and also Dr. Marge Lavides from the UP Diliman Extension Programs in Pampanga and Olongapo. The Data Science for Public Policy program of the UP CIDS was really envisioned to be a platform for scholars, members of the UP community, public officials, and stakeholders to be able to share and have exchanges pertaining to data-driven policy research and evidence-informed policy research for purposes of policy development and also advocacy. So part of our activities would actually be to organize research capacity building activities such as this for the UP community and for other stakeholders, especially those who are interested to conduct policy research, policy development with a focus on data and analytics. For this particular capacity building lecture on data scraping for social research, we felt that a lot of our stakeholders and members of the UP community be interested in this because given the digitalization and digitization that has been happening for decades, there are a lot of things that can be found, especially those that have been that are made accessible online. And while this activity focuses on method, it would also be a good idea to remind ourselves about the relevance of what it is that we are doing, which is really for policy, for actions or for courses of actions, to be able to change or improve our conditions, or even to be able to address our social problems, the problems that we face these days. Scraping data sounds slightly crude, but it is actually one of the techniques required for data engineering. You may collect data through different means, through different ways, by brute force, but I think what we look forward this afternoon would be more systematic, more rigorous approaches to data collection, particularly from online sources, in order to, as a step, for pre-processing, for analysis, and eventually for insights for policy development. So we acknowledge and thank the UPCIDS, led by its executive director, Director Teresa Encarnacion Tadem, and also the UPCIDS administration for their continuous support and assistance and help in mounting this event. We would like to thank our resource persons, Associate Professor Vlad Kobayashi from UP Mindanao, who is also our DSPP Fellow, and Mix Novy Aila Rivas, who is also our Research Assistant for the Culture Data Science Project. We acknowledge the UP Diliman Extension Program in Pampanga and Olongapo. We have participants who are attending, and also our program fellow, Dr. Marge Lavides, and all those who are joining us this afternoon. And finally, I'd like to thank Mr. Pao Basa, who's our DSPP Senior Project Assistant, for attending to the communication and logistical needs to make this event possible. So maraming salamat po, and I hope that this will be a very productive and a very insightful activity for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Jal, for your welcoming remarks. Now, one of our resource speaker for today's lecture workshop is Dr. Vladimir Kobayashi, who will provide today's lecture. He is currently one of the fellows of uh, the CIDS program on data science for public policy and an associate professor at the Department of Mathematics, Physics, and Computer Science under the College of Science and Mathematics at the University of the Philippines in Mindanao. Associate Professor Kobayashi is also a John Dillon Fellow at the Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research and a recipient of the Marie Curie Initial Training Network, as well as the Erasmus Mundus Master Course on Data Mining and Knowledge Management Scholarship. To help us learn more about data scraping and social research, let's all welcome Associate Professor Vladimir Kobayashi.
Yes, thank you so much, Sir Pao and Sir Jal for the introduction. I would like to first verify if I am audible.
Yes, sir.
And okay, thank you. And as well as I hope na clear tayo, no? I mean, hindi naglalag or what. We may experience some lagging, so please do not hesitate to call our attention if we are from your end you're experiencing lagging in the videos. Anyway, so I think we can start the workshop. So I'm happy that you have participated in this workshop, and this is actually a workshop. So therefore, there will be a hands-on activity. So we will be teaching you actually how to scrape data. So at the end of the workshop, we should be able to at least scrape data from a website. Okay, so the website would be we will share it later. But prior to the hands-on workshop or hands-on guide or tutorial, I will just introduce what is web scraping, or in our talk we advertise data scraping, and how does data scraping is relevant to social research. So just a brief background actually about myself. So why I have reached this topic on social research. So I do a lot. Well, I perform a number of social research that used online data. Okay, so what do you need? So I hope that you are using your laptop. Okay, and then you have a good internet connection, because later we'll be downloading some tools, and of course a willingness to learn. So those three are is all you need are all you need for this workshop. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, Okay, clear ba ang screen ko? Ano ba siya? Ano?
Yes po.
Okay.
Clear po.
Okay, tawag dyan, slideshow.
Naka-share. Opo.
Thank you.
Ay, sir, hindi naka-slideshow, pero naka-screen share.
Okay, sige. Nasa ano kasi siya? Nasa second screen. Anyway, I'll just disconnect my second screen. Okay, how about this one? Is okay?
Sir, wala po. Wala pong naka-screen share.
Okay, how about that one? Okay na ba?
Okay po. Naka-display po yung slide po.
Okay. Yan ma'am, slideshow na siya.
Yes, opo.
So the title of today's training workshop is Data Scraping for Social Research. So of course, data scraping is not only applicable for social research. You can also use the idea of data scraping for your own research. So whether it's in social research, economics, or in or other fields of social science. So you can use data scraping. But for my talk, I will focus more on social research. Okay, so this talk will be, of course, delivered by me, as well as Novy Aila Rivas, our research assistant. And of course, as mentioned, this is organized by UP CIDS, UP DEP, and UP Mindanao. Okay, so I want this to be a bit interactive, so I have some few questions for you later. Okay, so here's the overview of my talk, of our training. We will have a short discussion on World Wide Web and web data. We'll also have a discussion on scraping web data and social research. And then we will also discuss UPCIDS projects that involves web scraping. And then we go to the meat of the presentation of the training, which is the actual web data scraping. And we will also discuss some ethical considerations when we do data scraping, because there might be some we might encounter some legal impediments in terms of getting and using data from the web. And of course, how do we protect ourselves from being blocked websites, especially if we do automated scraping? We will also discuss the proxies for scraping. Okay. Okay, so let's have first the World Wide Web and web data. Okay, so there's actually a quote here. We are drowning on data, but of course we will try to say what we mean, what is but there. So it's actually a quote, no, from John Naisbitt. He said that we are drowning in data. So basically, there's no scarcity of data nowadays. Okay, so before, it's quite difficult to collect data, especially primary data, because it's a bit expensive to collect as well as to store this data. But with the advent of the World Wide Web, there's now a huge opportunity, especially for us researchers, to be able to use this repository of data. Okay. Okay, so but before we go to the discussion on World Wide Web and web data, I would like to ask you some questions about for what purposes do you use the web? So you can go to slido.com 17, then add 1736740. So use this access code and try to type your answer. So for what purposes do you use the web? So an example here is like I use the web or some websites to know about the latest news. Okay, so it can be a current events, or it can be a showbiz news if you're interested in your favorite celebrities. So this is just an example. So in your case, I would like to ask, what purpose do you use the web? For what purposes do you use the web? Okay, so let's try to look at your answer. Okay, good. So it's nice that some of you actually mentioned, or most of you, a lot of you mentioned research, and then you also have to gather information, of course, share information, not only to get information, but also to share information via doing vlogs, video blogging, as well as, of course, blogs, the traditional blogs. And then you are also using the web for academic work. So, for example, if you are searching for you're doing your literature review, you can search for journal articles, no? And of course, to watch videos. Okay, some are watching YouTube, and others are watching um, educational videos, and other maybe non-educational videos, like for example for pleasure. So so there's actually a lot. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do, or you can access through the website. Okay. Okay, so the top three here is actually for entertainment, and of course for news, and for research, and for research purposes. So as I've said, we are not only consumers, no, of web information, but we are also producers, because we share information via the web. Okay, nice. Okay, so the World Wide Web is ushered the quick and explosive growth of information. Okay, so as I've said a while ago, because of the World Wide Web, there's what we call the explosion of information, no? Daming information. And it's also a platform to store, disseminate, and retrieve informations, as well as mine useful knowledge. So it's not only content, but the web can also be a source of interaction, right? So if you are in social media, so for example, in Facebook, or in Twitter, or in some forums like Reddit, then you also leave behind interaction data. Okay, so who you interact with, what topics you are discussing. Okay, so the communities that you form, that we can also find that in the web. Okay. Okay, so let's have a short quiz muna. This is not graded, no? So just try to give your guess on this short quiz. So so what do you think? You know, so this is just a guesstimation. So how many websites are there? So can you choose from the four options about your guess about how many websites are there in the world today? So first option is 1.5 billion. And then second option is 8 billion. We have 4.9 trillion websites, or 4.14 billion websites. Okay. So we have, okay, so we have around, so the most, most people answered 4.9 trillion. Okay, so what's the correct answer? But the number is not really like, we are just on the ballpark, ballpark figure lang, because every day the number of websites uploaded or created is in the thousands. So this is just short of a ballpark figure in terms of how many websites are there. So the correct answer is around 1.5 billion websites. So can you just imagine there are 1.5 billion websites, and I think around 70 to 80% of them are active websites. So just to compare this massive amount, 8 billion is the current world population, no? Around 7.9, I think, but we just rounded up. So 8 billion. So you can say that for every eight people, mayroong isang website. Okay? Na to i-map natin ba, no? There's one website or even two websites. And 4.9 trillion is actually the revenue. No? It's just the estimate revenue from sales, from online sales, no, sa lahat ng mga websites na that do e-commerce or where you can, so for example Shopee or Lazada. So we have also Amazon. So based on the like an estimate yearly, no, so there are like 4.9 trillion sales, no. Ito namang 4.14 billion is like, it's the number of active social media users. Okay, so ang dami palang gumagamit or maraming merong social media accounts. Okay, so there's like 1.5, and if you want, you can add to this number by creating as well your own website or maybe for your own organization. Okay. So how do we search information in the web? So a lot of you answered there's we search information, but how do we do that? Of course, pinakasikat naman and the most accessed website, no, is yung Google, no, or the use of web search engine technology. So we have two types of web search or web search engine technology. The first type is yung general purpose. Okay, so these are the yung general purpose lang. So you go to the search engine, you type what you want to know or what you want to learn or what information you want to get, and then you have the you get the results. Okay, meron din naman tayong tinatawag na, we also have what we call specific purpose. Okay, so specific purpose is much more suited siya for a specific type of information. So an example, a good example is if you're using Google Scholar. So kung gusto niyo ma-search mga academic publications or books or journal articles, you can go to Google Scholar to get that information. So you are the results that you will get are limited to publications, technical reports, or scholarly work. No? Kaya nga siya tinawag na Google Scholar. So yan yung kumbaga dalawang purpose. So if you are looking for specific information and you know exactly kung ano dapat yung gusto ninyong type of information na makuha, then you just go and visit the specific purpose search engines. Okay? So let's have a short quiz for participation. Let's have the question is, which of the following is a specific purpose search engine? Check all that applies. Okay. Just select kung anong sa tingin ninyo ang specific. So I already gave the answer, one of the answer a while ago. So ano yung specific purpose search engine? Okay. Yes, correct. Okay, good. So the top, actually there are two here. So first is yung Google Scholar, as I've mentioned. And there's also this programmable web. So some of the websites actually have a search, meron silang search capability within that website. So for example, itong programmable web, it's actually a website, but it has a search capability which allows you to search for APIs. Okay, so mamaya I will tell you what is API, but it's actually useful if you want to get data from the web. Okay, ito namang Google, of course, generic siya. Yahoo and also DuckDuckGo is also a generic search engine. Okay, good. Okay, so we have here mga top notcher natin, no, sa pagkuha ng ating quiz. Okay. So the web is huge, diverse, and dynamic. And I'll just mention here, some of the things that we usually use the web for. So first is finding relevant information. So whatever information is that, then you can go to the web, and of course maybe add some query-based web search. Second is finding the needed information. So maybe, for example, if you try to find to learn about a specific programming language, for example, Python, so that's a popular programming language. You go to the web search engine or Google, and then you type there Python. And then it will give you all relevant information. Okay. However, some of those information na makita ninyo is not really the information that you need. So for example, it could give you like Python, the species of the snake, diba? Hindi naman yun ang interesting for you. So for your purpose or for your consumption. So that's the needed information is to really look at to access the Python programming language. And then you can also learn useful knowledge from the web. Okay. And of course, there's also this recommendation and personalization of information. So have you noticed na, for example, you are searching for a maybe you want to buy a pair of shoes. So you search the web, and then suddenly you actually see a lot of ads in your Facebook or in other websites that you visit, advertisements about shoes. So those are recommendation and personalization of information. So the web is actually analyzing your preferences, your behavior to make some recommendation. So example, yung sa you're looking for a movie to watch. I think meron naman yan sa Netflix kung nanonood kayo ng Netflix. So for example, nanonood kayo ng mga Korean dramas, you will notice na when you watch frequently Korean drama, you will get a lot of Korean drama recommendation. Kung Bollywood naman, you will have a lot of recommendations sa mga Bollywood movies. Okay? So some of those are just what you can do with the web. And another the last one is, of course, you build a community or a social network. So for example, you created a social media account. Doon meron na kayo, you add pages, you follow people, or you create pages. And then by doing so, you are actually participating in web communities and social networking. So you just need to be careful, kasi even then, the computer or these website owners are actually analyzing as well kung ano yung mga community na sinasalihan ninyo. So for example, during the last election, if you are following some presidential candidates, then you would also get going back the recommendation or some contents related to the your preferred presidential candidates. In fact, the social networking is also used to detect potential terrorists. So depende, yun ang tinitingnan nila kung if you are associated with some communities that are associated with terrorist organizations, then you might be tagged as terrorist as well. So you have to be careful as well when you join or whom you follow, as well as whom you interact. If you want to avoid those problems. Okay, so the goal there, the underlying concept there is actually association. So you can also, like, for fun. So if you are a fan of a certain group, so for example, meron kayong K-pop na gusto or meron kayong P-pop na gusto, then you have to join their communities, para meron kayong interaction. So lahat yan can be source for data for us. Okay? So siguro sa isang group masyadong wild yung mga members doon, or masyado silang how you say it, masyado silang liberal, something like that, no? In that case, so we can study those communities. Okay, so what is now data mining? So data mining, so here in this case, we actually talk about web data mining because we are analyzing web. Okay, so data mining here refers to extracting informative knowledge from large amount of data. So yan yung definition ng data mining. Okay, so basically, it's a term you use to describe the process of extracting knowledge from data. So as I've said, wala na tayong bihira na lang yung data scarcity. So we are actually drowning in data. But we can use data mining to extract knowledge from those data. Okay? So yan din yung isa sa ating reason for yung sa ating UP CIDS natin, na we are trying to have some policies that are based actually evidence-based. And when we say evidence, we are usually talking about data. Okay? And for web data mining, it's just the definition just extends, no? Or extend lang natin. When we are now dealing with web data, then we will be utilizing data mining methods to induce and extract useful information from web data information. Okay, so pag yung data natin is from the web, then we call that web data mining. And what are the different data that we can get from the web? So documents, no? So meron mga nag-upload ng mga documents or contents. We can also have linkage structures. So yung mga links. So for example, yung mga websites, no, meron silang mga link pointing to other websites. We can also analyze that to study the structure of the web, no, or yung linkage structures. We can also have transaction data. So when you go to a e-commerce website, for example, Shopee. So I think most of us, hindi ako masyadong sa Shopee kasi I like to go pa rin sa mga mall, no, to buy. Pero yung iba, they prefer to do online shopping. Yung mga transaction nyo doon, ano yung mga binili nyo, we can also use that, or the marketing, you know, the e-commerce websites are using that, no, to analyze your behavior, shopping behavior. Okay? Siguro, detect nila, this time of the year, maraming bumibili, or this time of the year, bumibili yan siya. So maybe they would anticipate it, no, next year. Siguro this time of the year correspond to them receiving their Christmas bonus, or 13-month pay or 14-month pay. So they will now start recommending, no, products for you para ma-encourage ka bumili. And those recommendations are based on your transactions. Okay? And of course, yung mga semantics. So how are these different concepts relate to each other? It's not only who you are connected with, or the linkage between different information, but it's also some semantic information, no? So when we say semantic, yung characterization ng information na yun, we can also use that to perform data mining. Okay? So ito lang yung short summary lang. So we can do web content mining. So we can discover valuable information from web contents. We have also web usage. So you can use websites, you model websites in terms of linking structures. And web structure mining is to reveal the underlying access patterns from web transaction or user session data. So even hindi lang sa shopping, it's also in social media, no? So they're trying to analyze, no, kung ano ba yung usual na ginagawa nyo. You post something, you chat your friends, no? You just browse, titingnan nyo lang yung mga feeds. So mga ganon, meron yan silang data on that. Okay? Now we go to, of course, those data are already available, no? Andyan na yan siya. And then what we can do, so kung meron tayo mga research, no, that maybe some of our research would like to use content from the web, no? So how do we get that data? So yan actually yung topic natin. Yung usage data, paano din natin yan siya makuha, di ba? And in fact, yung transaction data, paano din natin yan sila makuha from the web. We will focus actually more on getting content from the web kasi yung ibang usage data tsaka yung structure data usually hindi siya available. But some people are, or some websites are making this available. Pero naka-ano lang siya, naka-anonymize, no? Actually, meron akong mga research before that analyzed shopping behaviors. Okay? Pero here in our case, we will just use itong web content mining. We will focus more on web content mining, but we will also touch na pero ano lang, superficially lang doon sa web tsaka web structure mining. Okay? So let's now go to the web data scraping. So ano yung web data scraping? So it's basically wala pa yung mining, no? Wala siya, hindi tayo nag-analyze. We are not yet doing any analysis. We are just accessing data over the web. So yan lang ang ibig sabihin ng web data scraping. Okay, so you can even do that right now. Kung gusto niyo magkuha ng data from, let us say, Wikipedia, merong table doon ng mga GDP ng mga countries. You can do that. You can go to Wikipedia scrape, no? Or you can also do, for example, yung mga sales, no? Yung mga no, not sales, yung mga products that are on sale, no? Or on discounts. You can go there and you can get those information. Or you can also get information about a certain movie. No, you can just visit a website that has a for example, IMDb, website siya ng mga information about movie. So you can go there and yeah, do copy paste the data and put it in your own computer. But the problem with that is it's manual, and the difficulty is when you have to do you have to scrape a lot of websites, no? So medyo laborious na siya, and medyo hindi na siya practical na you manually get that information. But I would also say that not all data from the web are accessed through web data scraping. So meron tayong mga data na we don't need really to scrape. No, I will tell you later kung paano yan na we want something from data, pero hindi na tayo mag-scrape. Tama? So, merong actually technique na gagawin. I will share that to you later as we progress. Okay? So, let's first connect. So, ano ba ang connect ng why are we interested in data from the web? Why are we interested to connect it with social research? So, for one thing, using online data is not new in social research. Okay? So you're actually using the internet or the web to conduct online surveys, no? So meron kayong Google Form siguro. Then you do online survey, or you do interview, no? By online means. But those are modes actually of getting data through online, no? And those are what we call primary data. However, meron din naman tayong secondary data na pwede natin magamit in our social research. So some of the examples actually ng mga framework that use web data for social research is isa doon is yung digital humanities. Okay, so basically yun lang yung mga documents, no? Commonly, mga documents that we digitize, we put it in the internet, make it available to everyone. And then we do some people might be interested to use that data, no? Maybe to summarize what is known currently for that specific topic, no? Maraming mga ganyang studies, lalo na yung mga gumagawa ng literature review, and then also to analyze what's the topic discussion, o ano ba yung mga discussion over time, di ba? How people decide on some matters. So yan, about policy na yan siya, no? So, pwede yan siya makapture actually sa digital humanities. So, ang dami nating pwedeng makuha na data from the internet, no? So, yung isang ginagawa ko is yung I tried to get the speeches no ng mga presidents no over the years. So ano yung mga nandoon topic nila sa SONA, because that can actually be shed light on the different executive policies na ginag-focus ng ating mga presidents over since, let us say, since Manuel Quezon, kung available yung kanyang speech. Okay? And then, of course, there's what we call digital ethnography or ethnography. So, in contrast with digital humanities, wherein the focus is on contents or yung mga documents, ito naman, ang focus naman is the interaction. Okay, so how do people interact? So it's the same as in ethnography. It's like telling it's a qualitative research approach in ethnography. Same thing lang siya, pero we are dealing with digital data, so interactions. So how do these people behave? How do these people interact with each other? So we can use digital ethnography or what we call ethnography. And of course, the digital footprints that we leave, because before, when you do ethnography, so example, you are going to study culture. Pupunta ka doon sa site kung saan yung ano na yun, yung group na yun. And then you try to observe what they do, what do they eat, how do they interact, diba? Ano yung kanilang mga behavior, ano yung kanilang mga practices, diba? Parang ganun ang ginagawa. And then it's like a storytelling, no? You tell a story about the different things you have observed. Pero pwede din naman natin siyang gawin online, no? So ano ba yung, di ba, meron tayong kumbaga sa Twitter yung mga trending topics, no? And then how do these people as I've said, yung paano sila mag-interact? That's actually of course analyzing digital footprints. So these are, and it's now possible na you don't need to be physically there kasi nga online, paano ka physically there? For example, yung sa forums, di ba? Discussion forums, medyo meron pa mga awayan dyan, mga trolls, meron pa dyan, di ba? You may be able to study yung behavior ng mga trolls, di ba? So ano yung nagpapatrigger or how do they trigger discussions? So those are different things na pwede natin kuha sa by just observing or analyzing what we call digital footprints. So I will no longer delve on this, but I will recommend some papers to get you started, no, kung ano yung pwede nating magawa using online data. So you can read this paper, Digital Footprints, Opportunities and Challenges for Online Social Research by Golder and Macy. Actually, sort of introduction siya doon sa digital ethnography. No? So just like studying, how do you study interactions, diba? You study networks. So yeah, that's how they actually discuss about how do we study or how can we better understand online behavior or online communities using digital footprints. So tinawag siya sa footprints. Actually, other name for that is digital crumbs or breadcrumbs. Okay, so those are the things that we leave behind. And kung nandun niya siya sa computer, hindi na yan siya mawala. So we can always study these different interaction. Another is, of course, itong as I've said, digital ethnography. So we can use new technologies. Yung title niya is New Technologies for Social Research. You can also read that paper to give you a idea, no, kung ano ba yung mga possible research na pwede nating magawa, or how can we validly conduct digital or studies on digital ethnography. Okay, and of course, ethnographic analysis, so understanding culture through social media data. So, wow, is this possible? Is it really possible to understand culture, no, of people, a group of people, by just looking at or studying social media data? Meron kaya mga ganon? na-express kaya sa online, no? Yung values, beliefs, attitudes, behavior, or the culture of people, no? Online. So you can read this paper on ethnographic analysis. And of course, social media and social sciences, you can also analyze this, read this paper on using big data to do social science. Okay, so actually meron pa yan, marami pang papers, you just do Google, so use Google, no? So first talaga yan, before asking people, para hindi naman sila maanoy sa inyo, try to Google muna. No? Kung hindi talaga, hindi kaya ng Google, then you can start asking people. So meron kayong option, or meron tayong option na punta kayo sa Google, you try to search or Google Scholar about online data or social media data for social sciences. And you can even use social theories, no? Para ma-understand niyo yung culture, online culture, no? So hindi na wala tayo ding scarcity of social theories. Ang dami nating pwede magamit na social theory to better understand online culture. Okay? Now sa UP CIDS naman, we are actually doing some research on this using web data. So yung dalawa currently yung natin, ginagawa natin is first is on e-governance, no? So we're trying to, of course, our goal naman here is on policy, no? So we're trying to analyze, no, yun ng mga magagandang policies, especially for cities na, naging city, and how we can use those policy, maybe use some of those para naman sa context din naman ng ibang cities. So we are doing e-governance studies on this. Later, no, during the tutorial, we will show you some of the how do we perform this e-governance analysis. And then, of course, we are also doing Filipino social values, no? So this is in collaboration with UPDEP and UP Mindanao, where I come from. And this team is led by Dr. Maria Margarita Lavides. I think she's here right now. So if you have some questions about this ongoing research project, you can always email her or ask her some questions. And of course, some of our team members are Dr. Purisima Panilio, Dr. Cristabel Chanco, Dr. Rowena Valerio, and Dr. Angela Di Crayon. I'm very sorry, Sir Rem. No? Of course, Dr. Rem as well is part of the project. So we will also, ongoing pa siya, so hindi muna kami masyadong magbigay na information, but we will all discuss paano namin ginamit ang online data to really work on this research project. Okay? Okay, so let's now go to how do we collect. So yun na. So tapos na itong mapasakalye, introduction. Let's now go to the actual web data collection. So I think someone is unmuted. Kami ko lang muna. Okay, so how do we collect data? So straightforward answer, we can do it manually. We can also do it automated manner. Okay, pag manual, anong usual na ginagawa? Of course, copy-pasting, no? Or you can also do a parsing of HTML pages. So punta lang kayo doon sa website na gusto ninyo, mayroon kayong information na gusto niyo makuha, just go there or get the web HTML page. And then you have the data. So that's straightforward, no? Very straightforward way for some manual. Meron din namang direct download. So you can download data. So you can go to a website, meron siyang siguro mga files doon or meron mga data na gusto niyo, i-download niyo lang, right click, save as, di ba? Ayan naman, hindi naman yan siya difficult to do. Or kung meron kayo kilala, no? It's better to do direct request. No, you write the website owner, you write the organization. Siguro interested kayo sa date, meron silang data. So do not hesitate, write them, and maybe ask for data. Di ba? Yan ang usually mga first step na ginagawa ko before I do web scraping, no? So try to contact the organization or the website owner na ito meron kayo. For example, yung mga government organization natin, napapangit nung kanilang mga website in terms sa mag-download ka ng data, di ba? So mahirap ang interface, mahirap i-copy paste. So just go there, ask them, can you give me the data or can you share to me the data because we have this part kind of study, di ba? Meron din naman yan sa pre-W information. Yeah. So you just go to the website and or contact the owners and get the data. Tama? So, yan, marami tayong pwedeng manually, no? Pwede nating gawin yan siya. And of course, meron din naman tayo mga data na pwede nating gawin automated. Okay, so automate, hindi na tayo mismo pupunta doon, mag-copy paste, magkuha ng web page or yung yung contact, because sometimes we need updated data and every time meron bagong data. No? Siguro medyo annoying na kung magsige tayo request unless we have a MOA with organizations na they share the data to us. That's also possible. Pero meron din mga unreachable, no? Hindi natin ma-reach ng mga tao in terms of getting data. And some data actually then is mas better na tayo na lang kumuha, no? Mas mabilis pa. Example ko I requested a data from one organization. I told them kung meron ba silang data CSV file or file na. Wala daw silang available. Meron lang sila is yung nakabook, printed na data. So, yan yung mga case na yan. I-scan mo pa, i-parse mo pa, or isulat mo pa. Mas madali na lang siguro na i-automate na lang natin yung pag-collect ng data. Okay? But there are two ways to do it kung automated. First is yung API. We will discuss that later. And of course, yung web scraping or crawling. Okay? Okay, so how do we get data from the web? So yun na, nasabi ko na. Pero the process itself, ito yung generic process. Okay? So ang una-una, of course, is access the web page. Okay? So punta muna kayo sa web. Hanap kayo ng web page. Ano ba yung gusto ninyong saan ba mahanap yung information na gusto ninyo? So punta kayo sa web page. Sa web page na identify ninyo. So either you use a browser or you use programmatically. No? You don't need a browse. Usually yung browser natin, yung pag sinabi kasi nating browser, yun yung mga Google Chrome, no? Yung Mozilla internet. Wala naman sigurong internet, no. Meron din Internet Explorer, wala na yata siya. Edge, tsaka meron din yung mga bagong mga internet browser, yung Brave, meron din ganoon, di ba? So of course, you use that and then you type the URL. Simple naman niya. Alam na natin yan lahat. www, type the URL. And then you try to find kung ano yung information na gusto niyo doon. No? Or you can also do it programmatically. So kung marunong kayo mag-program, marunong kayo gumamit ng Python, you don't need to do that manually. Type kayo ng URL. Pwede nyo lang siyang i-program ang pag-access. Mamaya, I will tell you kung paano yan siya ginagawa. And then, of course, once you identify the website and the data that you want to get from that website, now you're ready to get the data. Okay? So it's either you download it or meron kayong HTML, no? So HTML is actually hypertext markup language. Mamaya makikita niyo na yung website na yan in the background or under the hood, meron yan yung pagka-format sa kanya is using HTML. So makikita niyo yan later. And then once you have it, you can save the files locally or you can save the parse data to a text file. So that is now storing. So first, identify, access it. When you cannot access to, wala kayong chance kasi hindi niyo rin yan ma-access programmatically. Then you start the data extraction. And then of course, you save the data in your own computer or locally, or you can even save it sa cloud. Okay, so that's Very simple lang siya. Condensed na yan siya na process. Okay, so how do you really access the web? Okay, the question is, sino ba marunong mag-access ng web? Lahat tayo marunong mag-access, no? Pero they are made easy actually with the use of browsers. Yung mga Google Chrome, Mozilla, Firefox, Edge. But actually, under the hood, what we are doing is we actually make HTTP requests. So HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Request. So behind the scene, no, when you type a URL, you click something, meron diyang nangyayari na exchange or communication na nangyayari. Okay? And that is made possible by HTTP. Okay? So ano yung mga methods, no? So we have get, post, put, delete, head. Usually get ang ginagamit natin. I will show you later, no? I-discuss ko lang muna ang mga part ng requests. So URL, of course, yung URL natin na type nyo, you need that. Ano ba yung mga information na gusto nyo sa header? And optional body for the request, which contains the data characterizing the request. It might include the URL itself or the body, or for post or put method request. So ito yung example, no? So you get, so that's the method. Yung specific page. So ano yung version? Ito version number lang man. And then ito yung host. So www.omegahub.org. So yan basically ang pag-access ng web page, no? Behind the scene. Okay? So ano yung response naman? No. So you start the communication, you send request through HTTP. Ngayon mag-respond yung server. Okay? So server is just a computer where the website is located, where the files of the websites are located. So yun yung server. So magre-respond ang server. Pag okay yung request mo, successful, magsabi siya 200. So meaning okay. Okay? Pag hindi naman okay, magbibigay din siya ng ibang code. Okay, mamaya i-discuss natin ano yung mga code. No? But basically, ito yung i-return niya. Okay, successful. Pag successful, ma-access mo yung page. So, for example, www.2.upmin.edu.ph. Pag successful, mag-okay siya and the website, andun na, ma-present na sa inyo ang website. Okay? So, these are other information lang kung ano yung type ng server. No? Hindi na yan siya importante for our case. But that's how actually we access the web. Okay? Or a website. Okay? So, ano yung mga HTTP status codes? So, meron tayo, yung pinakasikat 200. Pag 200 sinabi niya, success. Pero meron ding mga errors. No? For example, yung pinaka-common is yung 404 status code. So, meaning that the document was not found for the given URL. So, mapansin niyo pag access ninyo, merong malaking number, no? Kalagay 400 or 402. Yan yung meaning niya. Okay? So, pag hindi ma-access ang web, hindi ma-access yung document, mag 404 error siya. Okay? So, meaning niya, hindi siya ma-access. Or hindi present or hindi accessible yung document na yun for that URL. Meron din namang 500. Pag sinabing 500 error, meaning hindi sira yung computer. Sira yung computer, yung server. Okay? So possible na ma-access ang isang web page pero merong resource doon or meron tayong document na gustong i-access pero hindi natin ma-access. Kaya magbibigay siya ng 404. Whereas kung hindi talaga ma-access yung buong document or hindi talaga ma-access yung buong website, possible sira yung computer kung saan naka-host yung ating website, kaya mag-return siya ng 500. Okay? So, yan ang pinaka-common. So, wag na kayo magtaka kung meron kayo makitang number doon ng 400 or 404. It just means na hindi siya accessible. Okay, so ano yung mga response na ibibigay? So, we can have a files, we can have table, or we can have HTML page na pwede nating i-search. So, let me give an example siguro na ma-appreciate nyo. Okay, so I will use the website of UPDEP. Okay? So, happy tayo kasi ang UPDEP ay hindi nag-down ang kanyang ma-access natin ng website. Okay? So, this is the URL na sinasabi ko. Now, if we look at here, okay siya, di ba? Naka-format na, maganda yung kanyang layout ng text. Pero kung gusto niyo makita what's happening under the hood, ito gamit ko Chrome. Okay? So, what you can do is right-click lang. I hope pakita niyo yung right-click. Okay ba, ma'am, yung right-click? May mag-appear ba?
Yes po. Yes po.
Then you go to inspect. No? When you go to inspect, makikita niya dito yung mga layout, pero ang ating interest dito is yung network. Okay? So when you go to network, makikita niya dito yung mga files na ma-return. For example, iganyan ko siya. Okay. I-refresh ko. So makikita niya na dito yung mga files. Okay? So for example, itong doc, no? Usually unit history. So ito yung unit history. So makikita na natin diyan yung itong specific page na yan. So yan actually ang gusto nating i-access, no, sa ating computer o sa ating scraping. So for example, if you're interested to get this information pragmatically, then we can just use this. And then makikita niyo rin dito yung headers. So makikita ninyo request URL, ano yung request method, get, and the status which is 200. Okay. Okay? So yan yung, kumbaga, what is happening under the hood. Okay? So that's the short illustration lang kung paano makikita. So yun lang siya. HTTP request lang actually siya. Okay? Then let me go back to my presentation. Okay, so for example, sa UPSID naman, kung i-access ninyo sids.up.edu.ph, marami tayong information na pwedeng makuha dyan. So for example, to mga pictures, mga schedule webinar. Then you can go to, ito actually ang nasa background niya. Okay? So kung makita niyo yan yung tinatawag nating HTML. No? So, para mas let's share to, example na rin natin yung UPSID. Okay, alisin ko muna to. If you right-click here and view page source, makikita niyo yung HTML. So ito yung HTML. Okay, so meaning, ito yung nagfo-format para maganda yung makita ninyo na page. Okay? So nakita niyo yung text. So this website, parang ganyan. No? Adapts. Hindi pala yan. Iba pala yan. Saan ba yung text? Sa baba. So ito. So the University of the Philippines, kung titingnan ninyo, University of the Philippines, nandyan lang yan siya dyan. Okay? Nandyan lang siya. Na naka-format. So since markup language siya, meron siyang mga formatting code, markups. Tawag natin dito is markup. Okay? Hindi yan importante for our analysis kasi interesting sa atin is tong university. To text. Okay? So yan yung kung automatically kukunin ninyo, yan yung mag-appear sa inyong computer at yan yung kukunin natin because you cannot do computer, hindi mo naman pwedeng ganyanin siya right click kasi computer nga hindi naman manual. So ito yung makukuha ng ating code. And then that's where we can get the information pragmatically. Okay? So yun yung ating markup. Introduction lang yan. Okay? So now, okay, so marami akong gustong website. No? Maraming gustong website. Meron akong mga gustong information na makuha sa website. So let's now go to the actual automated data scraping. So may I just request you to get your laptop as well as prepare your internet connection because we will now do an actual automated data scraping. Okay? Okay, let me turn you over to Novy. Nobs?
Hello. Yes po, Sir Vlad. Thank you very much, Sir Vlad. Can you hear me po? Is my audio working?
Yes po.
Okay po. So I'll just play a video tutorial for web scraping Let me share my screen. So ako pa rin po yung nagsasalita sa tutorial. So ang mangyayari is, ipopost ko lang po yung video later if during sa installation tools na kailangan natin. So kasi magkakaroon tayo, as mentioned ni Sir Vlad kanina, na magkakaroon tayo ng hands-on. So I'll just pause the video in order for you to give you some time to install the tools na kakailanganin natin mamaya. So can you see my screen po?
Yes po.
Okay. So I'll start the video.
Hello po, good afternoon sa lahat. I am Novy Aila Rivas, Research Assistant po from Culture Data Science, and I'll be discuss the actual tutorial on how or what are the things to do when we want to scrape websites or we want to extract data from the web. So at the end of this tutorial, we should be able to download and install the needed tools, identify target websites to scrape, and to show illustrations of scraping ordinances and online forum discussions, and to apply scraping for a sample websites. For the first objective, which is to download and install the tools needed for web scraping, mainly we will be using Python. It's Python language for web crawling. For those who are not yet familiar or acquainted with Python, don't you worry, because we will be providing you the Python code that we will be developing later. All you have to do is to modify some of the lines of the Python code, and I am confident that you can do it on your own. And we will also use Visual Studio Code as our source code editor. We will develop, create, run, edit, or debug our Python code here. Actually, you can also use other code editor like Jupyter Notebook or Spider, but in this tutorial, we will be using VS Code. But whichever code editor you are comfortable to use with is really okay. And later po, I will show you the step-by-step process on how to obtain these applications po. And we will also use Selenium. It's a library that we will be using for web browser automation. And of course, Chrome Driver. It's an open source tool for automated testing of web apps using Chrome browser. So basically, Chrome Driver will help us to navigate web pages. Actually po, you can also use different browsers like Firefox or Internet Explorer, but I prefer to use Chrome kasi madali lang po siyang gamitin. And don't you worry, because I'll be sending the links for the documentation of the tools that I've mentioned para po mabasa nyo doon if you want to study more about these tools. Nandun po siya lahat sa documentation. And of course, the links po kung saan nyo pwede i-download ang mga na-mention ko po na tools na kailangan din po natin sa pag-web scrape. So to start, we will first download and install the Visual Studio Code kasi po we can easily install Python there as an extension. So to download VSC Code, you can use the link that I've sent sa chat box, or you can open your browser and search for Visual Studio Code download, and click the first result. It's available for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. All you have to do is to download the compatible installer for your computer. I am using Windows 11, so I'll just click this x64 and it will automatically download. Makikita natin siya dito na nagda-download na siya. It's about 88.3 MB. So let's just wait for a few minutes para po matapos siyang i-download. But for me, I'll just skip this part because I already downloaded it before. Noon pa, way back when I was still learning how to code. So ayan, I'll just go to my...
So now I'll give like 3 minutes po para i-install nyo po yung Visual Studio Code sa inyong computer. Babalik po tayo after siguro 3 minutes. And if you have questions po, you can post it sa chat box po. Yes, thank you. And nasend ko na po pala yung link doon sa ating chat box. You can visit our chat box po. Nandun po yung link ng ating documentation and kung saan nyo po pwede i-download yung tools na na-mention ko po sa video. So we have questions po dito sa chat box. May kailangan bang i-download for Selenium? Po ba siya? So ang Selenium po is pwede na natin siya i-download mamaya using pip install sa ating Python app po. So mamaya ipapakita ko po sa inyo paano siya i-download or i-install. Also have another question if pwede daw po ba i-run yung notebook for data scraping sa Google Colab. Sir Vlad, can you answer this question po? I haven't yet tried it pa po kasi hindi
Yes,
ko pa
you
po
may.
siya na-try.
Yes, you may. You can do that.
Okay.
Make sure lang na andun yung mga libraries, packages, and also yung data is tama yung path ng data or path ng file. Walang problema sa Google. Mas maganda nga ang Google because it's in the cloud.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Vlad. So I hope na sagot po yung mga katanungan nyo. So 3 minutes is over. Let's proceed to the next part of the video. Let's play it.
Downloads, assuming na natapos na po siyang i-download. So I'll just go to my downloads sa File Explorer
sorry.
and look for the
If I may
installer that
interrupt.
I've downloaded before.
Yes, Sir Vlad.
Okay. Before mag-continue siguro may I get na lang para Nobs, para at least alam natin na thumbs up from them. Okay lang ba?
Okay po.
Na na ninyo. Okay na ang inyong download. Thumbs up. Okay, good. Sige. Okay, pakibalik na lang kasi nag-interrupt ako kanina.
Sige po, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, i-play ko lang po ulit yung video.
And double click it and a window will pop up for license agreement. So all you have to do is to read this agreement and click the I accept the agreement and then click next button, and we will keep this way. Just click this, just check all of that, and if you want to create a desktop icon, you can click this and click next and then install. Again, I will skip this part because I already have VS Code in my computer. So cancel, install.
So, I'll give you another 3 minutes siguro para i-install po yung Visual Studio Code sa computer nyo po. So I guess 3 minutes is over. So let's can you give me a thumbs up if tapos na po kayong na-install niyo na po yung VS Code niyo po? Okay. So let's proceed to the video.
Now, assuming that you already installed VS Code in your computer, we will open it para po ma-install na naman po natin yung Python natin. Ayan. So let's open our Visual Studio Code. Makikita natin dito. And look for the extension. It's the 4 squares with one square is detached from the other 3 squares. So it looks like a Windows or an application. So just type Python there. Then click the first result. Ayan. So I already installed Python. But for you, just click install and wait for a few minutes para po matapos siyang i-install. So ayan.
So I'll give you another 3 minutes po para i-install din po yung Python sa computer niyo. Meron po tayong question from Jill C. Hill C. If you have an existing Python, can we use it po ba? Yes po, you can use your existing Python and you can also use different code editor as long as comfortable kayo and yun yung gusto nyong gamitin. It's okay lang po. Ayan. So can you give me a thumbs up po if natapos nyo na pong i-install yung Python sa VS Code nyo po. Ayan. So I guess marami-rami na rin po yung nakapag-install ng Python. So let's proceed to the next part of our tutorial.
Now, assuming that tapos na din po pag-install ng Python, we will continue to set up our environment. Paano? So, let's create a folder kung saan doon natin isi-save yung Python files na gawa natin and yung data na na-extract natin from website. So, to do that, let's go to File and then Open Folder. You can create new folder para doon nyo i-save lahat. Or you can go to your File Explorer and then you can create your folder there, or you can create it here by clicking this new folder. So, I already created one, this web scraping. I already created one, so I'll just click that and then select the folder and it will open na sa ating VS Code. Ito siya. So ayan, we are done. Let's X this. We are done installing Python and Visual Studio Code. So we will go to the next tools, which is installing Selenium.
I hope everybody is done installing their Python sa VS Code ninyo para makaka-catch up tayo dito sa pag-install ng ating Selenium. Kasi we're gonna use VS Code. We're gonna install Selenium there sa ating code editor. Okay, so let's proceed.
It's super easy lang po to install Selenium kasi you can do that sa ating Visual Studio Code din po. Just open a terminal and then we will use pip install the package name. Make sure na yung directory nyo is yung folder na ginawa nyo. So just type pip install the Selenium kasi Selenium yung ating package or library name, and then click enter, and it says that requirement already satisfied kasi nga po na-install ko na po siya before, but kapag bago nyo lang po siya in-install, it will usually took minutes to finish installing, so just wait, be patient lang po. So yan.
We have another question. Hi Novy, pwede po ba si Selenium for Mac OS? I guess pwede si Selenium for Mac OS as long as meron kang Python. Yes po. Doon mo siya i-install. Tama ba, Sir Vlad?
Yes, pwede.
Yes, pwede po. Kasi, yeah, yes. So I hope everyone already installed Selenium in their command not found daw po nung tinay. So if hindi po nag-work yung pip, itry nyo po pip3. Pip3 install. And then, yung package name or library name. Okay, nag-work daw po yung pip3 install. If hindi po nag-work yung pip install, you can use pip3 po. To install Selenium po, mag-open lang po kayo ng terminal. Makita po siya dito sa taas ng Visual Studio Code, yung terminal. And then just type pip install Selenium. Or pip3 install Selenium.
Yes. I think they're having difficulties sa Selenium. Yeah, you can do Conda install kung meron kayong Conda. Kung Anaconda yung distribution. So make
Hindi daw
sure
po
na
nag-work yung... Sir?
na you go to the console, console yan siya, hindi siya mismo doon sa code mismo. So if you are typing it sa notebook, you can do this. Pip, mayroon siyang exclamation point. So I'm writing sa chat. So mayroon siyang exclamation point before sa pip. Wala siyang error mabigay. No, nandiyan ka pa?
Yes po, sir. May nag-request po na i-rewind yung video doon sa pag-install ng Selenium. So, i-rewind
Sige.
lang natin ng konti.
Open a terminal and then we will, So just type pip install the Selenium kasi Selenium yung ating package or library name, and then click enter, and it says that requirement already satisfied kasi nga po na-install ko na po siya before. But kapag bago nyo lang po siya in-install, it will usually took minutes to finish installing. So just wait, be patient lang po. So, yan.
Marami pa rin pong nagkakaroon ng problema sa pag-install ng Selenium. Yan, if you have a problem installing Selenium po dito using sa VS Code nyo po, you can try to install it dun sa prompt console nyo po. Dun sa Anaconda or ano pa. Term PPs na target.
Okay, so I think merong error yata na merong error yan siya kasi baka either yung Python na executable hindi siya ma-detect, hindi niya mahanap. Kaya siya nag-error. So may I request someone to send yung screenshot ng kanya. Okay. Dapat meron na kayong Python kasi kung hindi pa na-install yung Python ninyo, hindi talaga siya ma-install kasi pip depends on Python.
So may I ask po if meron po sa inyo naka-install ng Selenium successfully? Yung wala pong error na encounter. Okay. Okay. So some of you is using Anaconda distribution. So okay lang din po yan. Ay, Sir Jaisal, I think okay na po yan. Installed successfully na po yan sa inyo. Successfully installed na po kasi yung nakalagay.
Si Joy, parang nahirapan si Joy. Gawin mo yung ano, Joy, doon sa Anaconda na pip install Selenium. Yung may exclamation point. Pwedeng, kung sa console ka, wala na yung exclamation point. Kanya lang, pip install Selenium. Yeah, alisin mo yung exclamation. Tapos make sure na tama ang spelling. Pip install talaga, tama siya. Install na install. PA instead of 80. Okay. Okay, anyway. Sige lang kasi hindi natin makaya lahat i-troubleshoot. So if you're not able to ano lang muna, we will allot time siguro later to help. Pero let's just continue na lang siguro muna, Nobs.
Sa video po.
But
Okay po, sir.
mag-watch na lang muna kayo. And then we will try to do to troubleshoot later if we have siguro 30 minutes after this para ma-troubleshoot natin ang error sa pag-install. Yeah? Sige. Sige, Nobs.
Sige po.
Now, for Chrome driver, all we have to do is to click the link na sinend ko po sa chat box or open nyo po yung browser nyo and then search for chromedriver.chromium.org downloads and ayan, lalabas po lahat ng Chrome driver, different versions. So, para po malaman natin kung anong version yung compatible na para sa inyo, yung compatible sa computer niyo is you can go to your Google Chrome settings. Click nyo po itong tatlong dots dito sa upper right corner and then go to help, select about Google Chrome. So ayan, makita po natin dito yung ating Chrome version. Ang version ng Chrome ko po is 107.0.5304.1222. So ayan, titingnan po natin, balik po tayo dito sa ating Chrome driver downloads. Since wala po siya dito, so I'll just choose the closest version. So I'll choose this 107.05304.62. So ayan. If we click that, madadirect po tayo dito. So all you have to do is to download the zip file kung ano ang gamit yung computer, OS ng computer nyo. So in my case, I am Windows user, so I'll just click this Chrome driver _ win32.zip. Yeah, let's wait for a few seconds to finish. Now, after you downloaded the Chrome driver, you have to double click this para ma-open po yung folder, and yan, copy this folder, copy this file and paste it to the folder you've created earlier. Yan. So, I already have one. Nandito na po siya sa folder na ginawa ko po kanina. Doon po sa environment ng VS Code na ginawa natin kanina. So, ayan. Now, we are done setting up our tools, so we are ready to extract data from websites. According to Krutov and Tennyson, 2008,
May nag-request po na ulit yung pag-download ng Chrome. So, i-rewind lang po natin ng konti. Ayan.
since wala po siya dito, so I'll just choose the closing Chrome version dito sa upper right corner, and then you can go to your Google Chrome settings. Click nyo po itong tatlong dots dito sa upper right corner, and then go to help, select about Google Chrome. So ayan, makita po natin dito yung ating Chrome version. Ang version ng Chrome ko po is 107.0.5304.1222. So ayan, titingnan po natin, balik po tayo dito sa ating Chrome driver downloads. .62. So ayan. If we click that, madadirect po tayo dito. So, all you have to do is to download the zip file kung ano ang gamit yung computer, OS ng computer nyo. So, in my case, I am Windows user, so I'll just click this Chrome driver _ win32.zip. Yeah, let's wait for a few seconds to finish. Now, after you downloaded the Chrome driver, you have to double click this para ma-open po yung folder, and yan, copy this folder, copy this file and paste it to the folder you've created earlier. Yan. So, I already have one. Nandito na po siya sa folder na ginawa ko po kanina. Doon po sa environment ng VS Code na ginawa natin kanina. So, ayan. Now, we are done setting up our tools, so we are ready to extract data from websites.
Meron pong nag-raise ng concern, hindi daw ma-download yung Chrome sa kanya kasi cannot be opened because it is from an identified developer. So, we will just try to address that later po sa hands-on na po natin. So, tuloy-tuloy na lang po yung pag-play ng video. Is it okay lang po ba?
Sites. According to Krutov and Tennyson, 2018, there are three phases of web scraping. First is website analysis, where we will study and explore the structure of the websites or the architecture of the websites, like its HTML document, XML document. And the next phase is website crawling. In this phase, we develop source code using Python programming language. And the third phase is data organization, where we also use Python programming language to save data to a CSV file. Yan. We have three websites to scrape. First is the Mandaluyong City, one of the highly urbanized cities in the Philippines. We are going to scrape ordinances that they've posted or uploaded in their official websites. And the second one is Skyscraper City online forum discussions. We are going to scrape the posts, comments, and replies, as well as the usernames and the date. And lastly, the sample sites, which is called Zity web scraping sandbox. This website is safe to use since it was built for web scraping practice. Now let's proceed to the first website, which is the Mandaluyong City official website. Before we proceed to the actual web scraping, we will first search Mandaluyong City official website sa ating browser. So let's open our browser, then let's search Mandaluyong. Ayan. Let's click the first result. Ayan. And then hanapin natin dito sa official website nila yung data na kailangan natin, which is ang city ordinances. So I usually open all of this menu kasi hindi ko alam kung saan ko hahanapin yung data, yung city ordinances. So yan yung ginagawa ko before I proceed to web scraping talaga. I have to search for the data dito sa kanilang official websites. Kasi magkakaiba yung structure ng websites ng different cities. So I guess in Mandaluyong City, dito sa downloads natin siya mahahanap. So let's select city ordinances and resolutions. And voila! Ito po yung kailangan natin na data sa city ordinances. Itong ordinance number and the description of the ordinance na pinatupad nila sa kanilang city. Since we already found the website and the data that we want, we can now proceed to the phase 1, which is the web analysis or website analysis. So all we have to do here is to right click and then inspect, and lalabas po dito sa ating right side ng screen natin yung HTML document. So ayan. So ayun, if you hover your mouse to the HTML code, you'll see that the website will be highlighted, right? This means that the data that you want to extract is in that part of the HTML document. And mapapansin din natin na there are a lot of syntax na unfamiliar tayo. Like T-body, what's T-body, what's TR, what's TD. Ang tawag dyan is ang locators. Different locators yan siya. It will help us to locate the elements na gusto natin kunin. Like tag names, etong TR, T-body, A, yan, tag names ang tawag dyan. And meron din tayong class names, itong class, which is the title, yung title ng ordinances. And we also have ID, ayan, ID. Main content, first downloads. Ayan. We also have XPath, link text, and a lot more. But usually we will use XPath, ID, class names, and link text because it's the simplest way to locate any web element. And also, please take note that not all HTML code have all of these locators at the same time. Ang iba kasi sa kanila is wala. For example, itong ID dito sa table, tag name table, is merong ID pero wala dito sa ating T-body or dito sa ating TD. Wala, di ba? For example, itong class. Merong class name itong TD na ito, but wala dito sa TR table. Ayan, wala siya. So, ibig sabihin yan, so, kailangan talaga natin na i-analyze muna or analyze or explore muna natin yung structure ng ating website before tayo gumawa ng code para i-extract na yung data na kailangan natin. Ayan. So that's how we do web analysis, and I hope everyone is catching up. Are you still there? So let's proceed to the second phase, which is web crawling, which is to develop or to create Python script. For the first two websites lang po pala yung I'll just explain the process of how I did the web scraping, and then later on na tayo mag step-by-step coding talaga sa sample website natin. So for this ordinances, I already have a code for scraping the data here in this website. So let's just open the file sa ating VS Code. Ayan. Nandito siya. So, scrape Mandaluyong. This is the code. Mapapansin nyo na hindi naman siya gaano kataas. Bearable lang siya. The first thing to do is to import the libraries. If you still remember, we installed Selenium kasi ito yung gagamitin natin na library talaga, main library. So, from Selenium, we import WebDriver, and then we also import Pandas as PD. And before we can import Pandas, if bago pa kayo nag-learn ng Python, so, of course, hindi nyo pa na-install, you can just use pip install Pandas. Ayan. So, requirement already satisfied. Ibig sabihin, meron na po ako niyan. Na-install ko na po siya before. So, that's the first thing to do when you code. You have to import all the packages na required po. And then, after that, we open a driver here. This is the code for opening a driver, yung web driver, yung Chrome driver natin. Then, after that, we inserted the URL doon sa ating website na isi-scrape. Ito po, URL na ito. I'll just copy that and then we pasted it here. Then after that, we open a browser na gamit itong URL na ito by this command, driver.get URL. So after we set up our driver, we will now locate or find the elements using the locators mentioned earlier, yung XPath, yung class name, yung tag name, yung ganon. So in this case, here in line 14, we find all elements by class name with title. And the same as description, we also find all the elements with class name na desk. And then we appended all the titles and the descriptions into the list na ginawa natin. Sa titles is the name list and the description is the details list. So let's go back to the browser para makita natin kung ano yung ibig kong sabihin. So, di ba doon sa title is ginamit natin yung class name na title, ito TDs. So all the ordinance number, we will store all the ordinance number to the list na ginawa natin, which is yung name na list. And then next is for the description, we all extract the description, we all find the elements with class name na desk. So, ayan. And we stored it to the details na list. We appended them there. And then after that, after we extracted all the titles and the descriptions, the driver will quit, or the driver or the browser will automatically close. Then after closing the driver, we make a data frame for the titles or the ordinance number and the description. So kumbaga, we combined the name list and the detail list into one data frame. And then after that, we save that to a CSV file. And we name that Mandaluyong underscore ordinance, the CSV, and the index is false because we don't want to add another column for the numbers of rows. Then after that, we print the DF to see if meron ba tayong na-extract na data from the website. So before you run the code, make sure that you save the code. And then, ayan. So let's try to run this code. To run that, we will also, we're gonna use terminal. So let's type Python and then the name of the file, Python file. So scrape underscore mandaluyong.py. And make sure pala na you are in the right directory. Ibig sabihin yan, nandun kayo sa directory or naka-open na directory kung saan nyo na-save yung inyong Python file. So in my case, I saved it sa web scraping na folder. So ayan, dyan ko rin siya i-run. So let's hit the enter. Let's wait for a few seconds. So ayan, this actually work. Ito na part is, ito yung driver.get URL. So nag-open siya ng another browser. And it says that Chrome is being controlled by automated test software. So ibig sabihin, yung computer yung nagko-control ng browser na iyan. So ayan, aantayin lang natin na ma-close siya. So we didn't encounter error. Ibig sabihin, we successfully run the Python code. Yan. So, ayan po yung data natin na nakuha. We extracted 325 rows with 2 columns. Yung rows na iyan is yung number ng ordinances na in-upload nila sa kanilang website. And then yung columns is yung ordinance number and the description. So, pwede din natin siyang i-open using this. Just double-click this and ayan, nandito po lahat. Yung ordinance number and then yung description ng ordinance na pinatupad nila sa kanilang cities. A total of 325 rows. So, to check if tama yung nakuha natin na data or na-extract natin na data, i-compare natin siya doon sa ating website. Ayan. Hindi na natin siya ma-open. So the first ordinance is ordinance number 893 series of 2022, an ordinance creating the Mandaluyong City Epidemiology and Surveillance Unit. So tama siya. And then the last, for the last and for the last ordinance, hanapin natin siya. Saan ba ang last dito? Ito. Ordinance number, hanapin din natin siya dito sa last. Kat 325. Ayan. Ordinance number 358, series of 2005 Traffic Management Code of the City Mandaluyong. This ordinance provides that regulations and yes, correct. So, ayan, tama po yung nakuha natin na data from the website and na-save natin siya to CSV file. So, that's how you scrape the Mandaluyong City official website or city ordinances. So, this website is actually called static website kasi we are just using, there's only one page lang. Ang data is nasa isang page lang siya. So for website number 2, which is Skyscraper City Online Forum Discussion, this is actually a dynamic website kasi we were gonna scrape data from a multiple pages website. Kaya siya tinawag na dynamic website. So let's visit Skyscraper City in our browser. So let's open a browser and yeah, this is it. I already opened it. Actually, the process of scraping online forums is just the same with what we did in the city ordinances. We just have to add some lines, or we just have to modify some parts, like adding for loops para ma-automate ang pag-navigate ng browser to the next page kasi nga it has multiple pages. Or we can add a command that will log us in sa website kasi there are instances na we have to log in first before we can open the online forum or before we can extract data from that online forum. Yes po. So I already have an account dito sa Skyscraper natin. So let's just try to log in. And yeah, that's my username. And ayan, ayan. And then click the login button to log in, and it seems like it's wrong. Ayan. So we are in. Ayan. This is the homepage of Skyscraper City. It says that it has 1 million members with 133 million posts. So surely marami tayong makukuha na data from here. Since we are only interested with Filipino values, so let's narrow down the discussions and let's search that here sa search engine natin, Filipino values, and then look for related discussions na pwede nating scrape. Philippine National Heritage. So I think this discussion, Filipino mentality, behavior, beliefs, traits, and traditions is closely related sa Filipino values. So let's try to extract the data from here. So it says that it has around 5,000 comments with 1 million views and was posted last August 13, 2015. Yes. Ayan. So this is the discussions where meron siyang 239 pages. I actually already have a code prepared for this website. So I'll just copy the link here and paste it there sa code natin. And bibigyan ko kayo ng run through sa code na nagawa natin. So let's open the code. Ayan. So it's called scrape skycity.py. That's the name of the Python file. And yes, the same as before, the first part of the code is to import the libraries needed. We imported the WebDriver from Selenium, and instead of using pandas, we will use CSV para sa ating data organization. And then we also import time. Itong time na ito, this is waiting time for browser to load and give some time for the code to give the elements we want before it will proceed to the next page. Ang mangyayari kasi if we will not put waiting time, mag-e-error siya. And kasi hindi niya mahahanap yung locators na ginamit natin for finding the specific element ng data na ating kailangan. So, kailangan natin para totally i-load talaga yung browser before mag-proceed sa other, sa next na website or sa next na page. And by the way, you don't have to install CSV and time using pip install kasi it's already built-in module in Python. So yeah, the next line after we imported the libraries needed is we open here. What is happening in line 5 is we open or we write a new file which is skyscraper_Filipino values, the CSV. This file is, ito yung file na dito natin isi-save yung ating data na na-extract from the website. Right. So, ang name ng file natin is skyscraper_Filipino_values.csv. Don't forget na dapat yung file natin, if you want to save it as CSV, so it should end, the file name should end with .csv. And W stands for write and encoding UTF-8 for the UTF-8 characters. The next three lines, is the WebDriver. To open a WebDriver, and then this is the URL of the website. And then to open a browser, we will use driver.get URL, the same as sa Sige ordinances. And this part here, itong kinoment out ko na part, it is the command na idadagdag natin if pag-open natin ng browser is kailangan mag-login. So this code here, para i-input yung username, this code is para i-input yung password, and this code is para i-click yung login na button. So, ayan. We will see later pag i-run na natin if kailangan siya or hindi. I-comment out lang natin siya if hindi kailangan, and then tatanggalin natin itong hashtags na ito if kailangan siya. So, ayan. So before I explain the next part of the code, let's go back to the web page first. Ayan. So ang mangyayari kasi dito, di ba? Dito sa web page na ito, if we manually navigate the website is i-click natin itong next button and the next button and the next button until ma-reach natin yung 239 na page, 239th page, right? So in Python, we can automate this using Selenium. What we will do is to make a for loop to repeat the process until ma-reach niya yung 239th na page. So, yan yung mangyayari doon sa ating next part of the code. Itong for loop na ito. For example, since it will take some time para i-run natin yung 239. So, let's just use first the first 10 pages as an example since, yeah, hindi naman kasi, but I'm sure na yung pag i-run natin yung 239 pages, hindi siya aabot ng oras. Mga minutes lang siguro. Depende sa internet natin or sa computer na ginagamit natin. So, for this tutorial, let's just use the range of 10 or the first 10 pages. Yan. Ayan. So, that's the for loop, the entire for loop po para ma-navigate natin or ma-repeat ang process na nandito sa loob ng for loop 10 times. So, this part here is to locate the users, the comments, and the dates. Balik tayo dito. So, ang ikukunin kasi natin na data dito is yung users na nag-post nito, yung dates, and yung entire na post nila or yung entire na replies or comments nila. So, yan yung kukunin natin. Diyan. So, here, ito yung part na yon. For users, we find elements by expat. I-try natin siya hanap doon sa ating website. Let's copy this and let's go to the website. Let's right-click para ma-inspect natin. And find F para mahanap natin yung expat. And then let's paste the expat for user. So makita natin na ito yung highlighted na yellow. Yan po yung user, yung element for the user 1. And then there are 20 users in this first page. So yan, kapag ibaba natin, yan, naka-highlight si Amigo 32. And then sa number 3, na-highlight si Nolly. Sa number 4, na-highlight si, saan ba si number 4? Si Pau P_P1. So, ayan. Yan yung purpose. Yan yung example ng expat kapag ginamit natin si expat as locator. Ayan. Balik tayo dun sa code natin. Same as sa comments and same din dito sa dates. We use expat to locate these elements, yung users natin, yung comments, and yung dates natin. And then, the following codes is to i-append na natin yung data na nakuha natin from page 1, itong users, comments, and dates nga. I-append natin doon sa ating inopen na file kanina, yung CSV file natin. Instead, mapapansin natin, instead W dito, A na stands for append kasi i-append na nga natin yung data. And then, ayan. So, the next lines here, the next line, this is the next. we find the next element para i-navigate or i-click nyo yung next na element or next na button doon sa ating website. Ito. I-click niya ito after niyang makuha lahat ng information na kailangan natin sa page 1. So, i-click niya itong next button para makuha niya na naman yung data dito sa page 2. Yan yung mangyayari dito after nakuha yung data from page 1, ina-append siya doon sa CSV file, and then we click the next button, and then after we click the next button, babalik na naman siya dito sa pag find ng elements ng user's comment states, and then i-append niya naman doon sa CSV file, and then next until aabot siya doon sa range na ginawa natin na ginamit natin na 10, yung sa 10 the 10th page of the website or the discussion. So ayan, after that after niyang tapusin yung for loop hanggang 10 is mag-close na yung browser. So, let's try to run this code here. Let's try to run. So, to run, we will just type Python, then scrape _ skyscraper.py. Scrape _ Okay, let's run that. Let's see. So, ayan, na-open na po yung browser. We don't have to log in na here. So, ayan, automatically pumupunta po siya sa second page, and then after you scrape all the data sa second page, pumunta siya sa page number 4, number 5, until sa 10. So that's what happened here. That's what happening here sa ating for loop. Yan, 5. Ayan, sa 6 na siya. Let's wait for few seconds para matapos yung ating pag-run ng data. So again, if to know na successful yung data natin, na tama, yung successful yung pag-run natin, na tama yung code natin, is hindi tayo makaka-encounter ng any errors dito sa ating terminal. Yan. So, nandito na tayo sa 9th page. This Chrome is being controlled by automated test software. So, ibig sabihin, yung computer yung nag-automate ng pag-navigate dito sa ating web browser. Antayin lang natin na ma-close yung ating browser. And then, yan. This means that successful yung pag-run ng ating Python code. So, let's try to see our data. Andito na tayo. So, ayan, si pau_p1. Yan yung username na nag-post nitong napakataas na content, and then was posted last August 13, 2005, and then si Nolly nag-comment siya, nag-reply siya neto, and was posted last August 13, 2005. So, yan, napakataas. Marami po tayong ayan. So, yan po yung na-scrape natin or na-extract natin na data sa ating online forum. This online forum, Skyscraper City online forum. So, ayan po, napakita na po natin paano is-scrape yung dynamic and static websites. So, for the last part of my tutorial, which is the website number 3, this is actually a hands-on web scraping. So, we will do step-by-step coding to extract codes from Zeit web scraping website. Yeah, so let's first analyze the website. Let's go to the to my browser and let's search for this. Let's act this.
Nobs?
Sir Vlad?
Okay. Pakiposan siguro muna We will kasi hands-on kasi to, so that make sure that most of us maran siya. So meron pa bang naka-encounter ng error? We'll try to troubleshoot now. Let's have around like 30 minutes siguro. Meron pa bang or 10, 20 to 30 minutes sa ating mga participants? Or everyone is okay na siya? Okay. Meron pa. So may mga tanong dito actually. We will try to address each one. So meron pa rin hindi get the sample. Facebook. How would you define the arguments used without an existing code? So actually yung mga arguments na yun pa is siya, yung kami ang nagkuha noon. Yun ngang XPath Nobs.
Yes po.
Paki-show kay sir kung paano natin na-come up yung XPath na yun. Actually doon yun siya sa pag-highlight. Sige.
I'll share a screen.
Sige. Kasi nangyari kasi kanina is meron na tayong code tapos pinakita lang natin. Pero actually we can reverse engineer. Kumbaga pabaliktad. Sige.
So for example po XPath, you can get an argument po by right-clicking yung element and then copy. Then meron po dyan maraming, ito po, copy XPath. So if you try to, that's one way po para makakuha ko po ng XPath, ang mga element.
Yes. It's because kung meron ka kasing i-hover mo yung mouse mo doon sa code, mag-highlight siya, di ba? Kung ano yung part. So kung na-identify mo na yung part na gusto mong kunin, then you can just copy yung exact na code yung sa XPath. Tsaka yun na ang ilalagay mo doon as argument. Okay lang. Sige.
Ayan.
Sige.
So, for example, we want this data, itong post ni Pau P1. So, just click this and you can highlight this para, ayan, makita po natin kung saan banda siya doon sa HTML. And then, to get the XPath po, just right-click and then copy the XPath. So, ayan, pwede mo na po siyang gamitin sa code. So, let's try to check if tama yung XPath natin. Control F. So, makikita natin na yung naka-highlight na yellow is itong gusto natin na data. Itong post na ito. So, ayan.
Yes. So, ganyan lang siya. Kaya we actually recommend kung okay yung Chrome. Although we do have something din naman sa Firefox, no? But you need to download the Firefox driver for that. Kasi ang ginagamit natin ngayon, Chrome driver. Maybe we can have some things na lang siguro later, no? Sa other considerations. Yeah. So did it answer your question, Pao? You can use the mic to confirm.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so can this be done sa Facebook comment section and Reddit? Okay, so actually, meron sa second part actually pa, i-discuss yung Reddit, YouTube, and Twitter, which is yung API. So gagamit tayo ng API instead of crawling. So yun yung topic mamaya, the how to get API, so application programming interface for this social media, no? Sa Facebook, medyo stricto ang Facebook in terms of crawling niya, but we can do it for public pages. But for Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube, we can get the comments sections as well as the posts, specific information about the post. So later pa po, Sir Antonio, yung sa using API, kasi mas madali siya using API instead of doing this. Okay? And then di pa rin po ma-install Selenium. Okay. Ma'am Bibian, can you show us your marinig nyo ba ako, Ma'am Bibian?
Yes, sir.
Can you show us your pwede pa screen share para makita natin yung
Ay, ano na lang po yung text error na lang po.
Sige. Kasi mahirap kasing mag-troubleshoot pag I cannot see the Kasi it could be sa console siya kaya mali or hindi ma-detect yung Python itself or pip, parang ganun siya ba? Okay. Pwede ba Ma'am Bibian? Maano mo? Mapakita yung screen mo so that we can look at kung saan siya
Na-copy paste ko po sa chat yung error message.
Pero mahirap pa rin siyang i-solve, ma'am, kasi this could be marami kasi pwedeng possible. So mas maganda kung ma-share mo ang screen mo para makita natin kung, for example, saan mo na supply yung command, parang ganun ba? Or you prefer to have it, ayaw mo i-share yung screen mo?
So, di pa rin na lang, sir. Sundan ko na lang po, panoorin ko na lang yung video
Okay,
later
sige.
after.
Sige, no problem. Okay, so let's have, okay, thank you. Get sample to sample the scripts. Yes, we will get you, we'll try to give you the, script, sample scripts for this. Share, yes, we will share the code. Well, our code is not the perfect code, so you can improve on our code, but the most important thing here is it's working. Yun naman ang purpose. Okay, how to use Firefox po instead of... So as mentioned, no, actually, you can use any browser, walang problema. But you need to download the driver specific for that browser. So can you show yung code kanina na merong knobs? Yung meron nga siyang get driver.
Okay po.
Yung sa code.
Okay. Ano na lang, sir, sa Mandaluyong.
Okay, sige.
Sure.
Okay, so meron tayong web driver dito. Itong web driver, dyan nyo siya i-specify kung anong klaseng web driver. Okay? So that can be Firefox, no? That can be that can also be other browser. So ang mga supported browser actually is Firefox, Safari, Opera, tsaka Chrome. So if you have those browser or you prefer to use those browsers, then you can just replace it with the appropriate driver. But now we are using Chrome in this case. Okay? Kung ayaw niyong gumamit noong main na Chrome, meron tayong light na Chrome na hindi masyadong nagko-consume ng memory. Okay? So very basic lang siya, vanilla lang siya. And same pa rin siya, same pa rin yung mangyayari na process. Okay? Yes, tama yan. Okay, so how to incorporate Python to Visual Studio? So nandun yan mismo sa yung kanina pinakita. Pwede mo pa ulit dito, Novs, yung pag-install ng Python sa VS Code. So kung meron kasing cases na meron na silang Python, no? So hanapin mo lang yung Python na executable, tsaka mo siya i-incorporate. So ito meron na kasi siyang kasi to assuming na wala ka pang tawag diyan, wala ka pang Python. So kung meron ka ng existing Python, teka, I'll try to open my kaya yan siya. So hanapin mo lang yung pre-installed Python mo para ma-incorporate siya. Teka, I'll just look at my VS Code kasi yan ang ginawa ko kasi before. Anyway, what you can do para hindi tayo masyadong you can also mag-install ka through VS Code. Iba lang yung path niya. Okay? Pero yun na ang gagamitin niya as the Python. Kasi you can install as many Python sa computer mo. Depende na. You can install like different versions of Python. So yun lang ang natin i-adjust para magamit, para ma-detect niya kung saan folder ba, kung ano yung path ng Python. So you can also do that. So you can do that here in VS Code, and then maging consistent na siya that whenever na mag-run ka ng code, Python code, using your VS Code, yung version ng Python na yun ang kanyang gagamitin. That's also possible. Hindi ko lang masyado. I'll try to find it muna. Sige. Anyway, tama yun na hanapin ko muna, but I'll try to show it later doon sa mga meron ng Python na meron ng Python na existing installation. Okay? Sige. Okay, so let's now go to the more hands-on, no? So yung pinakita natin is just to show you the kung meron kayong website, ano yung process, and how do you code. Now we will try to do it, no? So mag-coding tayo together. And we will try to use a website that is specifically made for you to practice scraping. Yeah? Sige. Nobs, please continue.
Tabs. Ayan. So this is the sample website that we're gonna scrape, the codes to scrape. Yeah. Ang kukunin natin na data dito, extract natin na data is itong codes, itong authors, and itong tags na ito. So let's first extract that. I mean, examine, explore, and study the structure of this website. So makikita natin is under siya sa div class na call mg8. So yung text na yan is my class name. So we can use class name as locator sa pag-extract natin na data na iyan. And then for the author, meron din siyang class name. So we can use that to find the element authors. And lastly, the tags, meron din siyang class name na tag. So we will use that as well. There's a total of, I think, 10 codes per page. So meron siyang next button. So it means that this page is dynamic. So yes, we will try to extract data from page 1 to until page 5 lang sa muna. So now we're done analyzing the website. So let's go and create the Python code. So here, let's create a file, new file. Let's name it scrape_codes. Oh, don't forget the py. And then enter. Then yan. So let's make a code out from scratch. Let's name this scraping codes from sample website. Let's paste the link. Then first thing to do is to import the libraries. So from Selenium, import WebDriver. And we will also import CSV for data organization to save our data to CSV file. And then we will import time for waiting time. Yeah. Then after that, we will open a driver. So options equals WebDriver.chrome, specifically Chrome because we are using Chrome here. Then we will add experimental options. Actually, let's just copy the let's just reuse this. Alright. Just paste that. Then after that, we need the URL, right? So URL equals, let's copy the URL here and paste it there. And then let's open a browser. Driver using driver.get URL command. So let's try to run this if it's working, if we can open a browser. Let's use the terminal to run this, and the name is scrape_codes.py, then enter. So yan, we opened a browser na. Sorry for that. Let's X that. And then after we open the browser, of course, if we want to close it automatically, we can use the driver.quit command. So let's save that and let's try to save. Let's put some time para makita natin na nag-load yung browser natin, and then after a few seconds is nag-quit siya. So time.sleep, mga 1 second is enough na siguro. So let's save that and then let's try to run that again to see if it's working. After 1 second, then nag-close siya. So it's working. Our code is working. Now, let's locate the data na kailangan natin dito sa ating browser, which is yung text, yung author, and yung tag. So let's first try to locate the text. We will use class name, right? Class name na title. Okay, ay na text ito. Gonna use this. So let's go here. Let's just let's make a variable name text or quotes na lang para maiba. Quotes equals driver that find element. We will use this. We will find the element from the driver, which is ang driver natin is yung driver natin na andun yung browser na na-open natin. We will find the element by expat, class name. Na ang class name natin ay ang text. So let's try to print it. Print quotes. That text. Kasi we are interested doon sa text format niya. So let's add that text. And then let's save that and then let's try to run. I hope it will work. Yan. So it works. We can see here that the world as we have created, it is a process of our thinking. So we actually extracted the first quote, which is the world as we have created, it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. So that's it. So now let's try to extract the author. So let's make another variable, then let's store the elements to that variable, driver.find element underscore element. We also use class name, right? Which is, I think it's author. And then print it out, print author. The text. And then save, and then let's try it if it works. It actually works. It's by Albert Einstein. And then lastly, we will try to scrape the tags, which is tags equals, we will make another variable name tags, and then we will store the element that we find from the driver to the tags variable element, then class name. The class name is tags, and then let's print it out. Print tags that text, then save before running, and a browser opened and then close. So yes, it works. We have the code, we also have the author, and we also have the tags. So now the next step is to print all of the codes that is here, that is in here. So all of these 10 codes, we will gonna print that. So para magawa siya, ang gagawin lang natin is instead na find element, gagawin natin siyang plural elements. Kasi nga, lahat ng elements na makikita dito na website na may class name na text, author, and tags is ma-extract natin siya. Yan yung hinahanap natin. So to print that out, let's make for loop for quote in quotes. Quotes. Let's print this. Quotes the text. And then for author, sasabayin nilang natin siya na pag-run. For author, let's make it elements instead na element. Kasi nga po, ang hinahanap natin is lahat ng elements doon sa page na iyon, sa first page na may class name na author. So let's make for loop again. For author, let's make this plural as well. Author in authors. let's print author.text. And lastly, for the tags, let's make it plural. And let's make a for loop for tag in tags. Let's print the tag. And be mindful po pala sa indentation kasi sensitive po yung Python when it comes to indentions. So ayan, let's try to run this. But first, let's save this file first and then we run it. I hope there's no problem. Hindi tayo makaka-encounter na makita natin. Ayan. So makikita natin na ayan, ito. So, na-print niya lahat ng 10 quotes and 10 na tags. So, the problem is, bakit hindi niya na-print itong for author in authors? Print. Save. So, yan. We've nakuha na natin yung information there. So, let's try. Bakit ayaw niya dito? I don't understand why. Let's comment this out sa muna and then let's save and then let's run it again. Ayan. So, it's working pala. I don't know bakit hindi siya na-print dito. So, ayan, we are good. So, all we have to do now, next step is to save this data to, let's just delete that kasi hindi na natin yan siya kailangan. You're just printing it out to test if meron bang nakuha na information or na data from these codes here. So, next thing is to save this to CSV file. So, to do that, let's insert it here. CSV underscore. Let's make a variable named writer equals csv.writer and then we open a file. Let's name this file as quotes. What is happening to my hands? That's CSV, of course. Don't forget the CSV. Oh, I forgot to put the quotation mark. It's important po, quotation mark. Don't forget that. And then right, because we are writing or we are opening or writing a new file. And then the encoding equals UTF para mabasa din po yung UTF characters. And then new line to save the next data to a new row. Then after that, we already opened a file and then we will append the data here. We will append that to the file na ginawa natin. So to do that, we will do some coding. Let's just copy this. Copy. And then paste it here on a double shot. As file, it's Python thing. For k in range of the quotes, let's just put the length of the quotes authors, whichever from the tree. Let's just use the quotes. You can actually use authors, tags, they have the same length anyways. So data equals quotes k I mean, we can just reuse this. They are just the same. So let's just use this to save some time. No? Ayan. So let's just change this to quotes, authors, and the tags. And then we will close the file that close after we do that. Then let's save and then let's try to run this. All right, let's try to run this code. I hope it will work. I think it's done. So let's check. Yeah, the world is what we are created, its purpose. And the author is here, the second column, and then the tags are here, it's the third column. So we have a total of 10 codes for the first page. Now, since it is a dynamic website, we will click the next we will make a for loop para ma-scrape natin yung first 5 pages ng website na ito. So to do that, let's make a for loop. Let's go back to the code and then gagawa tayo dito ng for loop for I in range 5 since we want to scrape the first 5 pages doon sa website. And then make sure na yung ating tama yung ating indentation. Ayan. Tapos before we close the file, we will first, you will locate the next button here. Let's place it here. So let's name it next. Then we will locate that find element underscore element. Let's go here, the next button. Let's click here. So the next button is in this element. So we can use link text. Let's try this link text if it will work. So find element by link text. Then let's paste that. And then let's click that. Let's click the next. Then let's save and then let's go try to find out if it will work. Oh, there's an error. So there's an error. It says that unable to locate element method link text selector next. So hindi niya nalolocate yung next button yung using link text. So let's try to fix this by changing the locator. So let's try to use link text instead. Dapat let's try to use XPath. Dapat yung XPath natin is unique. Let's try to use. So this next button is under li with class next. So /li. So we have li here, only one. But to be more specific, let's try to let's say next. And then, ayun, unique pa rin siya. And then because we want to click this next here, so let's try to be more specific. So let's try to so yan. Then let's copy this. And then let's paste this to our code. We will change this link text to XPath. And paste the XPath that we've created. And then we save it before running it. I hope this will work. Ayan. So makikita natin na it's moving. The website is moving. And there's no error at all. So it means that, yay, we run it successfully. Then let's try to look for the CSV file if tama ba yung ating nakuha na data. So Let's try to compare it sa website. Yes, the world as we have created is the process of overthinking. Tama yung first, yung second, it is our choices, hurry, that show that truly are far more than our ability. So yan, tama. So let's try naman doon sa last part ng ating na script, which is the 5th page. Let's just change that to 5. And then let's try to compare. Love does not begin and end the way you seem to think it does. Love is a battle, love is a war, love is a growing up. Yes, tama siya. And then yung it matters not what matters is born, but what they grow to be. Yay, so this means that our code works successfully. So that's how we scrape websites from dynamic to static. So I hope that you learned something from it. And that's it. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you. So if you're still having difficulty for your Python, actually I tried it with my computer. So may nagtanong kanina kasi kung meron nang daw pre-installed Python, what you can do, I will share my screen na lang siguro. Okay, so what you can do is you try, so this is in Windows, no? So try to press Control Shift P. Okay, so something like this should appear after you press Control Shift P. Okay. Control Shift P, tap. Then you have to type here Python, select interpreter. Okay. So once meron select na kayo ng interpreter, all your Python na nasa path ninyo will appear here. And then you just need to select kung ano yung klaseng Python ang meron kayong saan naka-install yung specific Python. Okay, so for example, in this case, nasa Python, I can use my Python na Anaconda, which is nandun sa folder na anaconda3python.exe. I can also have my Python in orange, as well as the basic Python. So, lagay nyo lang siya dyan. So, for example, I'm selecting here my Anaconda. So, I'll just click here. Python base. Okay, and then it should work now for your interpreter. Okay, so in this case, you will see that my Python or the VS Code is using this particular Python installation to run this Python code. Okay, so let's have try siguro ninyo lahat. May I get thumbs up kung lahat ba naka-scrape ng naka-scrape ng quotes? Okay. Hindi ako pamilyar masyado sa Jupyter Hub. Try lang muna siguro sa computer if you can, using your own local computer. Ano ba kayo? Naka-scrape ba kayo? Pwede pabalik yung yung video para at least meron lang silang baka gusto nilang kopyahin yung mga codes. Ay, meron pa lang sample code.
Nag-send na po ako ng link for the sample code, sir,
Sige.
sa chat box.
Yung sample code, try to run it and then try to see kung meron na kayong na-generate na or meron na kayong nakuha ng mga data. Okay? We'll have a short break siguro. Let's have 10 minutes break before we proceed to my presentation, which is on using API, just for you to try na meron na kayong nakuha na codes or na-scrape na codes from the data. Then you can just post your question. You may also unmute yourself if you have some questions. Thank you. So we have a question here. Can we also use this methodology to also automate? Yes, files, yes. Yeah, you can download actually any files yung pwede. So you may download the files, you may download the images, di ba? So yung file kasi meron niya actually siyang link associated to that file. So you may download that. In fact, we are actually downloading it, no? No, di ba, Nobs, we are downloading yung naka-PDF.
Yes po, sir.
Can you show them yung mga PDF na download natin?
I'll try to look it. Tingnan ko muna sa sir, sa files ko po. I'll try to run it.
I think I have it. No, yung lang yung na-download.
Yung lang po. Yung files na po, hindi na po yung code.
Hindi na, yung files lang. Para makita lang nila na it's possible. So hanapin mo lang yung URL, meron lahat kasi ng resource, meron yan siyang URL. So if you want to download it, you download the file, then it's possible. So we did this, itong yung Mandalo, yung sample lang yun, but we did it to, I think we have around 20 cities ba siya, Nobs?
Yes po, around 20.
Yeah, 20 mga cities lang muna kasi sila yung nagpa-publish ng mga ordinances online. Some cities hindi sila nagpa-publish or kulang yung pinapublish nila. And yung ibang provinces wala talaga silang nilalagay. And it's one of our advocacy to encourage yung mga cities or even provinces to upload the ordinances para makita ng mga tao yung mga existing ordinances, as well as for people to know kung ano yung mga magagandang ordinances. Okay, so yeah, please now.
Ito po yung sa Bacolod City na ordinances po. Naka-PDF po kasi yung nila, yung mga ordinances nila na in-upload dun sa kanilang official website. So, we automate po to download these PDFs.
Can you open one PDF siguro, no, para makita nila yung content? So this can be found in the in the Bacolod, yun siya. Nag-download din kami dito sa aming sa aming region, Davao City tsaka sa Tagum City. So yan yung ating downloaded na files, PDF files. So it's possible. So walang actually hindi possible. Everything is possible. Yes, yeah, Sir Antonio. Yes.
Hello sir, hello po. May tanong po sana ako.
Okay, sir, shoot.
Ano po sir, I'm interested po kasi sir sa parang advantages ng methodology na ito. Kasi isa po sa nakita ko is yun nga, makaka-download ka ng PDFs na mga ordinances as shown in the example. Ang tanong ko lang po is, ano po yung parang advantage noon kaysa sa, halimbawa, manually, download ko sila individually. If, yun po yung naisip ko po eh. Kasi baka masyadong complicated for me. Pero baka may advantage nga na the methodology is there. Does it save time? Yun po yung mga tanong ko lang po sana on top.
Yes, definitely sir. Meron tayong advantage dyan. Ang isang advantage natin sir is the advantage of automation. So for example, pag marami ka ng ikukunin na data, no? For example, at saka yung cases na, for example, itong mga ordinances sir, hindi naman na pagkuha mo ng ordinances tapos na, 'di ba? So siguro yearly meron silang i-upload na bagong ordinances, 'di ba? So in order to that, siguro yung frequency na 'yon, maybe it's not even justify na i-automate, pero merong mga cases sir, like for example, you want to track, ang isang example talaga is yung prices. You want to track prices of goods or commodities. So yan siya, mayroong study na they track around 100 or thousands of commodities prices, and they do it yearly. They do it every day, no? Kasi nag-update ang mga presyo every day. So if you do that manually for 100,000 of products, and you do that every day manually, so ma-imagine mo na lang sir yung effort na gagawin mo on that. So I'm not saying na you always use this. If you can do it manually and it's easier, go for it. But syempre meron talagang mga cases na hindi na natin impractical or infeasible na siya na gawing manual, lalo na yung mga constantly updated. Another example ko is yung ginagawa kong research, which is on studying job vacancies. So actually, meron akong research on skill demand, yung yung mga skill na dinidemand sa labor market. And one of my data sources actually is yung job vacancies. Kasi 'di ba sa mga job vacancies nakalagay ano yung mga requirements, ano yung mga responsibilities, or ano yung mga competencies. And every day hundreds of vacancies are being posted, no, sa mga various job boards. Kung isa-isahin mo yun sir, and you try to analyze, isa-isahin mo, copy paste or i-download, bago ka pa matapos in one day, meron na naman another day, kasi nga 'di ba every day naman merong nagpo-post, lalo na dun sa mga siguro LinkedIn or Monster or what. So yung mga ganun sir na very dynamic and very rapid ang pag-update, then this type of data collection can be useful para makakuha ka ng data in a rapid manner, as well as updated pa rin yung data mo. So yun na nga sa example ko, 'di ba? So ano ba yung mga highly in demand skill, no? So kukunin ko yung mga job vacancy, scrape ko lahat ng mga job vacancy, and then I try to get those skills na highly in demand and even rank them kung ano yung mga highly in demand. So ganun na case sir, pwede talagang magamit yung yung scraping or yung getting data, scraping online data. Yes.
Salamat po sir. Dami po kong insights doon sa sinayad niyo na example.
Yes, thank you sir. Actually meron akong previous talk on that kasi ito is more on data scraping. Pero meron akong previous talk sa UPSID pa rin wherein I discuss text analysis and isa doon sa example ko is yung job vacancy. Next step na actually yun siya. How do we analyze those type of data? Thank you. So meron din ditong isang question. Yes, tama. Good. Yes, sentiment. In fact, isa din yan sa pinaka no, for example, yung binigay na basahin ko na lang no, pa hindi naman kayo ma-disconnect sa aking comments. Pwede ka din mag-sentiment, correct? For example, meron tayo mga issues ngayon, current events, so you can look at kung ano yung sentiment ng mga tao. So for example, siguro may mga controversial bills like let us say for same-sex marriage or divorce or SOGI bill. You can look at the siguro Twitter or to get the ano ba yung sentiment ng mga tao on these issues rather than go out and ask them kung ano yung opinion nila. But of course, we have to take into account yung mga possible biases din if we use those type of data. So that could be really helpful. Meron ding study that tries to predict the stock market, no? Depende sa sentiment on using Twitter or data from Twitter. So for example, kung medyo yung sentiment on this certain brands or products, then it may have some impact on the stock prices. So mga ganon, pwede siya sentiment analysis. Okay? Yes, yes, correct. Yung data, madali na siya. So kumbaga, instead of spending 5 hours trying to get all those data manually, kung makita niyo sa example ni Novy, it took only like minutes, pinakamatagal na to get all the data. Then malagay na rin siya doon sa text files. Madali na siyang i-analyze. Okay? Yes, I will give you yung yung reference. Actually hindi man yung aking study kasi sa economics yun. But I can give you the reference on that, Ernest, regarding sa commodities, yung changes ng mga prices. Okay? Good PM. Pwede po bang magamit sample sa mga site na may lag? Yes, in fact, yung binigay ni Novy na example, may login yun siya. So all you need to do is to provide the login details. So once makapasok ka na doon sa website or ma-provide mo na, pwede mo na siya actually ma-skip. Kasi meron talaga mga website na before mo makita yung data, mag-login ka muna. So for example, kung may subscription ka, no, I'm not saying that you need to, kasi mamaya we will discuss the ethical consideration. Pero may mga website na meron silang mga pricing tiers to access some data. So for example, merong yung premium, di ba? May premium, merong ano pa ba? Basic plan, mga ganyan. So in order for you to get those data, dapat mag-login ka muna, provide your credentials. So you can also programmatically do that. Na actually meron akong ginawa noon, nag-scrape ako ng, so that is, I'm talking about 10 years ago ha. So kung illegal na ngayon, it's not my fault. So 10 years ago, I did the scraping on the contact information of people. No, so merong isang website na nag-offer ng ganyan. So I provide, bago mo ma-access yun, they will provide you muna login details. So I also scrape that using Selenium, kung saan na-automate yung paglalagay ng mga password and username. Tsaka ako nakagamit ng nakakuha ng data. It's also possible. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. So that's actually our discussion next, which is to use API. So we will be using API, and then we'll also discuss what's the advantage of API and what's the over scraping. And then you will also know na meron ding actually advantage and scraping over the use of API. Yes, you can do it for comments sa Facebook. Meron akong experience before sa Facebook, pero yung akin lang, yung aking account lang. So in-automate ko ano yung mga sino yung sino yung mga nagko-comment. Siguro it can also be used for if you own the page, ano yung mga pinagko-comment. So ang ginawa ko kasi before, I tried to look at sino ba yung mga friends ko na active sa pag-comment, pag-like ng aking post. Kasi gusto ko alisin yung mga hindi masyadong active. So friend ko yung mga hindi masyadong nagko-comment, hindi masyadong nagla-like. So ang ginawa ko, I tried to automate it. And then doon nakita ko kung sino yung active. So siyempre I keep them kasi para maganda sa aking social media. Yun namang hindi talaga nagko-comment, walang like, wala talaga interaction, pinaga-unfriend ko. So it's possible for Facebook. But meron siyang limitation actually sa kung sino lang yung pwede mong ma-scrape. So ang first limitation is mga public lang na mga pages ang pwede, or yung own account mo or sa friends mo na account. You cannot do it for all users. Okay? But how is text sentiment analysis accurate? Can they replace usual? Yes, it's actually a very so mayroong mga ganyan mga type of questions, no? Validity, but we have actually it's a whole field of studies. We call it sentiment analysis, opinion mining, that deals with that kind of how to extract those information. So pwede mo actually sa isang text, no, malaman kung ang isang tao is agreeing or disagreeing with certain issues, or are they mad, or are they surprised, or are they happy about it. So merong mga ganun techniques. So hindi ko na i-discuss kasi nga matagalan tayo kasi it's a whole field of study. Pwede mo siyang makuha yung sentiment ng mga tao regarding certain products, or even not only whole products, no? Siguro merong mga features of that product na ayaw ng mga tao, and they expressed they disagree or they don't like the product. So possible yan siya for you. Okay. Yeah, we will provide certificate, but please do the evaluation, no? And then after the evaluation, we will be sending you certificate. Correct. So we will also discuss later yung mga ethical considerations. So of course ngayon hindi na tayo basta-basta mag-scrape na mga data lang, but we have to I will provide you some checklist kung ano yung mga i-consider natin when we decide to scrape data. Okay? Okay, yes. Yes, Ma'am Grace, you can of course kung hindi ka masyadong techie person, ako hindi rin ako masyadong techie. So what I did is I tried to collaborate with people who have the technical background, who can do it. Ang purpose lang naman nito, ma'am, is that of this workshop is that for you to realize na these things are possible, and you can even the simplest na mga data, we can do even the simplest data scraping. Yeah. So mas better, ma'am, kung hindi ka talaga masyado you're not comfortable with programming, you can do may mga tools din, paid tools that you can use, or you can also collaborate with a person na mas kumbaga comfortable with working with this technology. Yeah? Thank you. But of course, I would expect sa ating mga audience who are social researchers is that you think of problems, no? Kasi yun naman talaga ang collaboration natin. Problems na pwede kaya siya magamitan ng online data. Parang ganun ba? And then we can start talking about potential collaboration. Yeah? Yes, exactly. Public lang siya, no? Tama ba, Sir Ariel? Yung mga public lang siya. Before nga nagka-issue yung LinkedIn, yung nag-ano ng profile kung okay ba mag-scrape ng LinkedIn profile. actually na rule na siya na allowed tayo mag-scrape. Yeah. Is there a disadvantage in using automated? Ang isang disadvantage na nakita ko is kung hindi kayo masyadong techie, yan, medyo yung learning curve medyo steep. And then second is you still need to check whether your code is okay, is running, kasi baka biglang nagbago ng layout or biglang nagbago ng ang website. Hindi na pala siya tama yung nakukuha natin na data. But the remedy there is to check kung okay pa ba ang code natin. In fact, meron tayo mga libraries sa Python that automates some of this for specific websites. So we don't really need to hard code gaya ng ginagawa natin. Yung pinapakita lang namin kasi meron tayong mga website talaga na, for example, yung mga city mga website ng cities, wala naman yan talaga silang masabi nating yung mga libraries that are targeted. But for the more popular websites, meron na actually. So we don't need to start from scratch or create code from scratch. Okay? Sige. Okay, so we still have 40 minutes. So I think I can discuss API. So maraming interested din sa API. So I'll try to discuss API. If we cannot finish around pwede naman naming i-upload yung code. Ang importante lang is you know how to extract or use API. Okay? Okay. Okay, I hope na andyan pa rin kayo, no? Kaunti na lang and then we will wrap this up. Okay. Okay. Okay na ba yung screen ko? Kita na ba?
Yes po.
Okay. Good. So let's now, nakita niyo na yan, familiar na kayo, kilala niyo na yan siya, wala na problema si HTML and how do you select yung specific content. So for example, here, yan, pwede niyo gamitin yung class na yan. And that is actually HTML. Okay. Now, how do we collect web data naman using API? So what is API? No? So API stands for Application Programming Interface. Okay. So other term ng API is web service. So ang API actually is more on, so we access the website, right? So as a user, as human users, we access the website. Tama? And then we get data sa website. Tama? Yun yung ating ginagawa. Ang API is actually a way para yung mga softwares or mga websites, they can communicate with each other or they can even exchange data with each other. So yan yung idea ng API. Okay? And how can we use this API to collect data? So API is web services or API application. Ano ang advantage? Okay. So kanina pinakita ni Novy kung paano natin mag-scrape ng data without using the API. Okay? That is really kumbaga, well, I won't call it brute force, pero siya, by studying the website, studying the layout, automating some of the processes, no? Yung pag next, paano mo siya. So that's basically studying yung website itself. Ano yung URL, how does the URL change if you press next, paano ka mag-login. Pero itong API, ang advantage niya over doon sa ginagawa na web scraping or web parsing is that it avoids large amount of formatting information. So nakita niyo yung HTML, ang dami dong mga information na about format lang actually siya. Okay, so hindi mismo yun ang need natin. No, kaya sabi ko dito, which is superfluous for our needs. Okay. And then, kung nag-iba yung layout, like some of the websites, no, paiba-iba yung layout, siguro mahilig silang mag-optimize ng website, iniiba-iba nila yung layout. Ang mangyayari sa ating code, kung mag-web scraping tayo, ang mangyayari is, iibahin din natin kasi mag-iiba na yung mga expat, mag-iiba na yun siya, depende na kung paano na naman layout yung website. Although it's not frequently done, pero may mga ganong cases na iniiba-iba nila. Okay? And ang isa talaga sa good advantage is that yung data na makuha natin, yun na exactly yung data. Wala na tayong gagawing parsing. Kasi yung ginagawa natin kanina, ang nakukuha natin yung HTML, nilocate natin yung specific data, tsaka kinukuha, tsaka pino-format, tsaka nilalagay. Ito naman, diretso na siya na ano na siya. Kung ano yung need natin, yun na ang nakukuha natin agad-agad. Wala na yung mga formatting. Okay? And then fourth is dynamic ang access. So kung mabilis talagang nag-update yung mga information, siguro every second may information, every minute may new information, then kung may API ang isang website or isang web application, web application, then better to use the API. And then of course 5 is the rich functionalities. Okay? So ito, hindi ko na lang siya i-discuss, but we have two primary technology for web services, is yung SOAP tsaka yung REST. Karamihan na ginagawa natin is REST API, and then ang kanyang focus is on the resource. And the return data is usually JSON. Okay? Hindi ko na lang yan siya, importante is maka-start tayo ng So, ano yung mga popular website, makita natin, meron actually silang mga API na. So for example, itong Twitter, meron tayo, kung gusto natin kumuha ng mga tweets, so for example, nag-tweet ako, let us say, no to remote classes. Okay, so nag-tweet ako, meron namang ibang nag-tweet. Yung mga tweets na yon, instead of using yung ginagawa ni Novy na scraping, in-identify paano na format ang website, we can directly use the API to access it. Okay? Same thing with YouTube, Reddit, and Facebook. Okay? Meron yan silang mga API na pwede natin magamit. So paano tayo ngayon magamit ng API to get the data? So of course, ang una-una natin gagawin is we get the API keys. Okay? So punta kayo ngayon sa developer.com/endocs Twitter API. Or you can just type sa Google, Twitter API. Parang gano'n. Okay? Once you go there, okay. So you will be presented or you will be encountering, ayan, so Twitter API. So kailangan nyo ng Twitter API. Okay? Okay, pag nandyan na kayo, you can click getting started and then getting access. Okay? For this, you need to sign up. Dapat meron kayong account kasi medyo controlled ito compared sa scraping, meaning alam ng Twitter kung sino yung nagkukuha ng kanyang merong mga API keys. Okay? And we call that developer accounts. Okay? So mag-sign up kayo. Okay? So click niyo yung sign up. And then once successful yung sign up niyo, you will be directed to this developer portal. Okay? Itong developer portal, ito siya is dito nyo i-access yung mga API keys. Okay? And then kung first time ninyo, iba ang inyong makikita dito. Makikita niyo parang create new project. Okay? So itong projects, so ito kasi meron na akong project. And then once you have project, you can create the app. So ang aking project name is web scraping. Pinangalan ko lang na web scraping sample app. Okay? So once meron na kayong web scraping, meron na kayong project, you can now add apps. Okay? Mag-add lang kayo ng app. Okay? Na okay ba? Nakakuha ba kayo? So kung first time yung magawa ng Twitter, actually kailangan nyo pang mag-wait ng some time para para kayo mabigyan. Kasi kinokontrol nga nila yan kung sino yung bibigyan nila. Tapos you have to provide some information about bakit kayo nag-request ng API, ano yung paggagamitan ng app ninyo, parang ganun, no? So maybe you will have to wait like a week for them to give you this API key. Okay? Sino na bang merong API? Naka-create na kayo? Or naka-request na kayo? Can I have a thumbs up kung naka-request na kayo ng API? Okay, good. Meron ng isa pa lang nakaano. Sige, don't worry nga. Kung first time kasi, as I've said, hindi pa siya ma-approve agad. Kasi nga nire-request siya. Okay? But I will show you na kung ma-approve na siya, you will be directed here sa dashboard and you will have the add project, no? So just follow that add project and then add website. So pag meron, for example, meron na akong project, yung web scraping sample app. Itong web scraping sample app ko, na-create ako ito is project. Under that, nandun yung app. So para makita niyo yung API key ninyo, punta kayo. Bilisan ko lang kasi pwede stop record muna, sir, kasi yung unique kasi yung key. Oo. Okay. So ito yung ating gagamiting library. I will share this, no? Import WP. So this you can install it using pip install, and then pip install, panda na install na kanina. And then keys that equals config parser dot config parser. Okay? And then nandoon sa keys.ini yung inyong file. So paano yan siya? So kung titingnan niyo tong folder ko, meron diyang the same folder kung saan yung .py, nandyan yung keys.ini. So meaning nandyan naka-store yung aking sir pa, pwede na pala back sa recording. Okay. Nandyan naka-save yung aking keys. Okay? So andyan yung aking API key. Okay? Details. So once nandyan, you just need to call itong config parser keys ini, and then just follow this Twitter API key. So yan siya, it's reading actually these keys. Okay? Which is itong nasa keys.ini. Okay? And then yung access token. And then merong tayong authentication. This is same as nagla-login. Okay? Same siya sa nagla-login ka and then set access and then yung API. Now, ang ginawa namin dito is that we tried to get tweets based sa keywords and hashtag. So kung gumagamit kayo ng Twitter, saan ba yung Twitter ko? Gumagamit kayo ng Twitter, okay. Sir pa, makita ba yung Twitter ko dyan?
Hindi naman po, sir.
Hindi. Sige, pakita ko. Para may idea lang sila. Baka yung iba kasi walang Twitter. Okay. So alam naman natin, well, some of us already have Twitter. Yung iba na hindi pa masyadong familiar, platform siya where you can post ang tawag natin dyan is tweets. Ang ng tweets is, before meron siyang number of characters lang na pwede mong pwede mong ma-post. So dapat you should be brief and concise. So example dito, no, meron tayong mga tweets from various people. So for example here, ano ba yung ano natin dito? Trending. Click na natin itong trending. Okay, so meron yang ganyan mga tweets. Okay? Ang topic is about the president, no? So meron pala na. Okay, so meron mga ganyan. So we might be interested to get this para we know kung ano na ba yung mga updates, no? Current events regarding this. So yan, tweet tawag natin dyan. We can also get tweets based on keywords. So pag sinabing keywords, yung mga tweets na naglalaman ng ganong keywords. So for example, kung hinahanap natin is Ferdinand Marcos, merong word na or merong phrase na Ferdinand Marcos, we can set that. And then sa Twitter, meron din siyang hashtag. Ganap ako ng hashtag. Yeah, pero meron yan siyang hashtag. Hindi ko lang ano. But we can also search mga hashtags. Okay? Based on hashtag. So for example, kung nanood kayo ng Probinsyano, we can say Probinsyano. So yan yung mga tweets. Ayan, mayroon siyang hashtag. So we can also look at, kasi hashtag is a good way to to tell your audience what's that tweet is about. Okay? So or ano yung gusto nyong ma-highlight doon sa tweet na yon. So for example, ito, business merger acquisition. So yun yung gagawin natin na kukunin natin dito sa ating Twitter. Okay? So here we identify keyword na FPJ ang probinsyano. So, and then we just limit it to 500. And then, ayan, there's a function, yung gamit yung tweepy cursor. The keywords is yung Q, 100 tweet mode should be extended, and then that items limit. Then we classify it into user, tweets, tsaka date. So kailan? So we can also get the user, sino yung nag-tweet, ano yung tweet na containing the word probinsyano, and when siya na-tweet. Kasi importante din na makita. Some studies might look at yung evolution ng mga tweets, no? I mean yung when siya na post na tweet. And then of course this is just putting the tweets or yung na-extract natin na tweets sa data frame, and we put it in the data frame and store it in the FPG ang probinsya. So ganyan siya bilis lang. So madali lang siya. 35 yung code, just get the API, and then you get the tweets containing that keyword. So just to give you a idea kung ano yung itsura ng ating okay, so tignan natin ha. So to give you an idea kung paano, ano yung ating data sa tweet. Ito na ngayon yung kung i-run natin yan, we will have the yan. So yan na ang lalabas. Kung naka-format siya, same thing na finormat natin. So for example, ito si user Naomi Torres. Sir Pao, nakikita mo ba Excel?
Yes po.
Ano yan, Naomi Torres, ayan, nag-tweet siya. Oh my God, I dreamed last night. Natuloy na ang part 2. Wala, napay part 2. Okay, Ben. Ang tagal kaya natapos niyan. And then, meron na tayong date. So, ang bilis lang niya makakuha ng data. Yeah? Good? So that's how we use API. So as you can see, kung meron tayong API, one line lang actually siya, one-liner lang, kuha mo na yung mga data na gusto mo. We can do the same for other na meron silang API na o meron nag-offer sila ng API. So another example is yung sa YouTube. Sa YouTube naman, iba naman ang kanyang iba naman mag-request ka rin ng API ng sa YouTube. Alisin ko lang yung aking API key. Okay? Same thing ang gagawin. Okay? So mag-request kayo sa YouTube din ng API. And then same thing pa rin, API client, build. And then ang maganda sa YouTube, you can actually identify yung ID ng isang video. And then you can get the name, comment, time, ilan ang nag-like, at saka ilan yung nag-count. In this case, we are interested in the comments for video na video about ano ba yung magandang moving magandang series ngayon. No, hindi ako masyadong familiar sa sa mga series. But you can, for each video kasi sa YouTube, meron siyang ID, no? So interested kayo kumuha ng mga comments, name, ilagay niyo lang diyan, and then just ano nyo lang kung ano yung information na need, and then the next page, and then in this case you can actually generate now the data. So ma-save niyo na ang data. So ano yung data natin? We will try to look at. Okay. So ito yung nakuha namin na data for that video, yung Probinsyano episode 3. So meron kaming nakuha ang data ni Yunela, username, and it might not reflect the actual name, no? Tapos nag-comment siya, napakaganda talaga, something like that. Then time, ilan ang nag-like, ilan din ang nag-reply, no? So ano yung mga comments na may maraming engagement. So ito maraming engagement. Ano kaya yung comment niya dito? Anyway, so yun yung possible na pwede nating makuha using API. Yeah? So, how do we request API naman kung punta tayo sa YouTube? Okay? So sa YouTube, mag-create lang kayo ng Google account kasi ang YouTube, binili yan na yata yan ng Google. So punta lang kayo dito sa console.cloud.google.com, and then hanapin nyo yung API version 3. Click nyo yan. And then enable. And then you will have to create the project, no? Kung meron na kayo. And then create the project name, then create. And then yan, nakaset na siya na yung project na yon. Tapos enable ninyo for that project. And then you can click create credentials. And then you will have here the mga different parts, and then makita nyo na dito yung specific na API key. So ito yung need ninyo. Okay, API key para ilagay doon sa code. Okay, anyway, I will share the code para maka-experiment naman kayo sa API key. Okay? And then so on and so forth. Yeah? So any questions regarding this sa ating API? So that's the advantage, no, ng ating paggamit. Same with Reddit. We also did data, getting data from Reddit using API. as well as Facebook. Okay. Okay, so we are towards the end na. Wala bang question? Okay. Yes, merong API ang LinkedIn. Actually, gumagamit ako ng LinkedIn. Meron sila. You can request it. Tapos you can scrape yung mga private, mga public profile. Lahat na information actually pwede mo mga scrape lang, yung mga skills nila, sino yung mga connection nila, ano yung mga post nila, you can get it. Yeah? Okay. Okay, so we are drowning in data, we're starving for knowledge. So that's the quote from John Naismith. So there's a lot of opportunity for us to do social research kasi merong online data and we can get that data using either scraping or using API. Okay, so ano ba yung mga ethical naman, no? Agad-agad naman tayong agad-agad naman tayong kumuha ng data, bawal pala. So sa Philippines, web scraping is still a gray area. Okay, din wala tayo actually specific legislation on banning or allowing or permitting web scraping. But we can look at other na mga legislation. For example, yung copyright, possible copyright infringement. And then if we violate yung term, basahin natin yung terms of use ng isang website. If we violate that, then we might be liable for breach of contract or even Data Privacy Act. So ano yung mga consideration? So first is, una-una, I advise, so this is just based on experience, no? So you have to read the terms of use sa website. So do they specifically say na bawal i-scrape ang website? So kung bawal, wag niyo na lang gawin. So what's the remedy? So yung second remedy is just to ask them if they can provide data. That's one thing. Okay? So you try to read the terms of use. Second is baka merong mga copyrighted material. So ang problema lang naman sa mga copyrighted is that you cannot reuse it. Well, hindi mo siya pwede, may mga prohibition on using it or publishing it or using it as your own content. So just try to read kung or ano ba yung okay at not okay. So meron naman mga open source material that you can actually reuse and copies or produce copies. So hindi na tayo ma-problema sa copyright. And then isa is purpose of web scraping. So ano ba ang purpose niyo for web scraping? Baka kasi ang purpose natin sa web scraping is to perpetuate fraudulent acts. Yan, bawal yan siya, no? But I think for academic purpose, hindi naman siguro masyadong problematic kasi we are from the academe, no? So we might be using this type of data para sa ating research. Okay? And of course, damage to website. So you can just imagine, ang daming nag-i-scrape sa website, baka mag-down yung website. No? Kasi actually, pag mag-access kayo, it's as if actual users, ang real or human users ang nag-access. Now, kung mag-access kayo frequently, tapos let us say, lahat tayo mag-scrape ng data, baka yung traffic ng website mag-increase, hindi na makaya ng website, so mag-down siya. So try also to, when you do scraping or automated scraping, try to schedule the scraping. Huwag nyo namang i-scrape all whole day, naka-on yung scraper or naka-run yung scraper ninyo, no? Try to do it like, let us say, every other day, parang ganon. But para hindi naman ma-damage yung website. And as I've said before, baka meron ding mga specific information doon na private, no? Or confidential. So careful lang tayo sa pag-scrape. Baka meron tayong ma-scrape doon na hindi naman, kasi merong mga website di masyado magandang security, di ba? Or inadvertently may na-post sila or meron sila nalagay doon na mga confidential pala. So we have also to think about that when we do ethical web scraping. But for yung mga gumagamit ng API, if they specifically allow for it, I think okay na siya. No? Yung the mere fact na nag-release sila ng API, that's also a implicit na kumbaga they are allowing us to get the data from the website. Okay? So ano yung mga checklist? So, questions na dapat nating i-ask. Web crawling ba? Web scraping ba? Explicitly prohibited. Kung yes, then do not do it. No? Kasi baka kayo naman ang magkaproblema. Kasi meron na tayo mga cybercrime laws ngayon. Baka makulong tayo, no? In terms of if we violate the terms of use. And then copyrighted ba material? We may get it for personal copy lang ba? For doing research lang ba? Limited ba siya? Or are we allowed to put it in our website as one of the services and maybe profit from it? So try to look at kung copyrighted ba or not. Yeah? Does the project involve illegal or fraudulent use of the data? Yung project nyo ba illegal, I mean, something ba to do crime? Illegal ba siya o fraudulent ba? Baka nag-collect kayo ng data for other purposes, di ba? Or nag-collect kayo ng data for illegal activities. Pwede kasi yan, no? I'm not saying ginawa ko na. I'm just saying that it's possible. Okay? So, try to assess naman kung ano yung paggagamitan niyo sa data. Okay? And can crawling, scraping, can it cause material damage to the website or web server hosting the website? Yes, possible. Kung ang daming nag-i-escape, yun na nga yung ibang mga attacks, di ba? Yung attack, possible yan siya na you increase the traffic and it may bring down the website or hindi na siya na-access naman kasi sobra na masyado ang traffic. Okay? And then, can the data obtained from the website compromise individual privacy? Meron ba tayong possible privacy violation if we get that information doon sa website? That's another question. Next is, can the data obtained from a website reveal confidential information about operations or organizations providing data or the company owning the website? Baka meron tayong makuha dyan na mga privilege or confidential information about certain operations or organization. So meron ba mga ganyan? No, we can use that to defeat our competitors, but for academic purposes, I think it's not ethical, to do that. So we have to consider that as well. And can the project require the web data potentially diminish the value of the service provided by the website? So again, that's also considering kung ano ba yung potential impact doon sa website na gusto nating i-scrape. For example, meron kaming website ngayon sa UP Mindanao, maraming gusto wag niyo na lang i-access. I-ano niyo na lang, wag niyo na lang i-scrape, no? Yan, possible siya na magda. Okay? So, consider those ethical consideration. And in summary, well, before I go to summary pala, hindi ko na mention na yung proxies, but a bit technical kasi siya, but I can give you some reference. So when you try to scrape websites regularly, madidetect ng admin, ng website administrator na merong isang computer, based on your IP address, makikita niya yan na ito mukhang hindi ito real tao. This is a robot or this is a crawler, tawag natin diyan. So what they will do is they will block you. So yung internet, yung IP address iba-block niya, so hindi niyo na ma-access ang website. So ang ginagawa natin diyan is we actually create proxies. Okay? So nagke-create tayo, binabago-bago natin ating IP address such that when we try to iba yung makita, hindi tayo masabi na this one is actually doing a lot of scraping on our website and it's doing something bad sa ating website na nag-increase siya ng traffic. So meron ganun technique, na bago-baguhin natin yung IP. So that is actually using the idea of proxies. Okay? So that's possible. Ask your IT. And then summary, data scraping is a power tool for social research, and I would like to actually invite you, if you have problems or interesting research, social science problems that you think data scraping, web scraping, or using online data can really help, then we invite you to contact us so that we can discuss possible collaboration activities. Thank you so much, and I hope you learned something from our activity today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Vlad and Novi, for your very comprehensive and very interesting uh, uh, presentation and lecture for today. Now, on this part, no, we're about to end. We would like to give this uh, certificate of appreciation to Associate Professor Vladimir Kobayashi for his invaluable contribution as a resource speaker for the lecture on data scraping for social research held on the 29th of November 2022, signed by Dr. Jalton Taguig, the convener of Data Science for Public Policy Program. And the same certificate of appreciation is also given to Miss Novy Aila B. Rivas as well for being one of our resource speaker for today's lecture. Thank you very much, Novi and Sir Vlad, for your contributions today. And to close this event, we have one of the fellows of UPCIDS Data Science for Public Policy Program and the co-project leader for the Culture Data Science Project, Dr. Maria Margarita Lavides. Dr. Lavides is an analyst who earned her PhD in public policy at Auckland University of Technology through the New Zealand ASEAN Scholarship. As a faculty at the University of the Philippines, she teaches courses such as design thinking, organizational culture and innovation, and introduction to politics. Dr. Lavides' research about the biracial children won the Best Paper Award in an international conference hosted by the University of Hawaii at Hilo. She was also a Lee Kuan Yew Scholar at the National University of Singapore and a cum laude graduate from UP. Before becoming an academic, Dr. Lavides was the executive director of the Pearl S. Buck Foundation, a political affairs officer at the House of Representatives, and a presidential staff officer at the presidential management staff of the Office of the President of the Philippines. Let's welcome to hear the closing remarks, Dr. Margarita Lavides.
Pao, maraming salamat sa iyong magandang introduction na mas mahaba pa ata sa closing remarks ko. Thank you so much. On behalf of the Culture Data Science team, I wish to thank everyone who contributed and participated in this webinar. We wish to end this event with a challenge or a reminder about the importance of practice. We learned a new skill this afternoon. However, any skill is only as good as it is applied. As you practice, have the guts to apply the data scraping technique on domains that are not yet fully explored, such as human rights, communication, culture, arts, governance, and so on. Investigate the uncharted intersection of data science and selected disciplines. You might discover some novel findings which can be a turning point in your careers. Good luck po at maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
Ayan. Thank you very much, Ma'am Doc Marge, for your closing remarks. Now, one last thing for to cap off this event. We'd like to request everyone to turn on your cameras for a very short posterity photo. Yeah, I'll. Uh, yeah. One more. Ayan, everyone. Okay. Okay, so medyo madami, but yeah, we'll do it in batches. So first batch, 3, 2, 1, smile. Second batch, 3, 2, 1, smile. And okay, one last batch, 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay. Okay. I guess we're good. Now, end this event. Again, thank you everyone for coming here. And regarding the certificates of participation, we will be giving them after you fill out the post-workshop evaluation form. And I'll send the link in our what you call this in the chat box for you to access. After the event, you can fill it out, and then we will be sending out your certificates of participation. Here we go. And did everyone? I hope everyone copied that. And also, if you have any further inquiries, you can also email Dr. Vlad through his email. I believe he posted his email at the chat box. Also, you can also email the website, the email address of the Data Science for Public Policy Program. That's datascience.cids@up.edu.ph. I'll also post it here. And yeah, that's it. Thank you everyone for joining again. On behalf of the UPCIDS Data Science for Public Policy Program, we thank everyone for you joining in this lecture or lecture workshop on data scraping for social research. We'll leave the meeting room, so just in case if you would like to copy some of the resource materials posted in the chat box by Novy and Sir Vlad. And if you have any other inquiries, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you po.